Don't be gentle when you put your phone down, if you don't mind.
We are live.
Oh, we're live? We got some music playing? Boom, boom. No music. All right. There it is. All right. Well, welcome to episode 20 of the Fifth Stripe podcast. We are coming to you live from the Third Coast Grappling home base here in Nassau Bay, Texas. We are going to have a very, very good episode tonight. We have both Zack Marshall, CEO of Third Coast Grappling, and the president and matchmaker, Ryan McGuire himself.
How's it going, guys?
Good things went down in Houston this weekend. Friday at Warehouse Live, it was an amazing grappling championship. And we're going to do a good recap. If you guys tune in, we have a very, very special guest coming in about the second hour. Should we announce it now, or should we?
It's rhymes with schmickle, schmear, schmally.
Yeah,
so
it's like
if you guys can make that out or not.
Yeah, Ryan.
It's a tough one.
Ryan's really good at riddles, and so the first person to chime in and give us what you think the answer is.
Is his last name O'Malley?
Yes.
O'Doyle rules.
That's why we have beer.
O'Doyle.
We have beer.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's going to be a good episode. So let's go ahead and get through some of the sponsors. As always, justgeepants.com, 6-month guarantee, always free shipping.
Yeah, how about that commercial? If you haven't seen that commercial,
Man, that was amazing.
it's pretty dope.
I thought it was cool they are playing the commercials like in between matches and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
That
that's cool, right?
that's very good.
I mean, we paid for them, so might as well
use them.
And,
for
and,
something.
and like they were being able to be used like strategically, like the Weedify one for Johnny Boy. I was like, okay, we're gonna set it up to show. I'll say a little something, then they'll go just to get that emotional because that was
Man,
such a good promo.
It was
that was
big, man.
amazing.
People were like, "What the fuck's about to happen right now?"
I saw I saw some guys back afterwards, and they were like, "That doesn't get any better than that." That was
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
I almost busted a tear off. Like after I introduced it, I was like, fuck.
Dude, I like
When everybody was standing too, that
Sniffling.
dude,
it was
that
amazing.
match, man.
Standing ovation, and the match was hype, man.
Legit.
He
Well,
almost
we knew Ruben was going to bring it because we saw Ruben go against William Tackett in the qualifiers, and when the guys showed up, he didn't tell us beforehand that he only had one leg. He wasn't like, "Hey, I'm a para athlete." He just showed up, and his opponent was William Tackett, one of the
premier guys right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's won at 3 of our events so far.
Yeah.
And he was just game to not have any special privileges or anything, and that's pretty awesome. And that's why we wanted to include him in the special match too.
Yeah, he almost scored on Tackett too. But the funny backstory behind that on the matchmaking end is, I let him in the tournament. I didn't know anything. I looked on social media. I didn't really see anything that stood out. And then about a week before, Jordan Holly, shout out Jordan Holly, Holy Grail Jiu-Jitsu,
What up?
Third Coast Grappling champion,
A two-time.
two-time.
That's right.
He was like, "Hey, why do you got Bueno going against William Tackett in the first round? What's wrong with you, man?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Man, Ruben, he's only got one leg." I was like, "So?"
I know. Yeah. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, man? I just really want to, test him. And then, like, at the weigh-ins, I remember I tried to make a switch, and Austin was doing the emceeing, and I remember I tried to make a switch, like, on the lineup to make it more, I wouldn't say fair, but just more of a, something for a first round. And I did it, and then people were called out, no. He was against Tackett, and Ruben was pissed. He was like, "Bro, I want to fight him." Like, I mean, the guy is all heart, man.
No, he's
like,
game.
he's
He's
good,
game
and
for sure.
he don't give a fuck, man. He don't give a
No,
shit.
he definitely executed a real nice like jumping guard pass, trying to just bypass Johnny's legs, jumping off of the 1 foot, and
One leg.
He almost got it. I think he surprised John a little bit. I think John was expecting him to just go down on the knee and try to pass that way, and instead he sprung over him, almost got the pass on Johnny, but Johnny recovered. He's got a good guard.
and
man.
I'm
For a
gonna
guy with no legs, his guard is amazing.
I think that match surprised a lot of people.
Well, I'm going to say it like there was like one leg collectively between everybody in that on that mat, and they probably had the top 3 match of the night.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
shows you,
It's not one leg collectively because Ruben has a whole leg, so it'd be like 1.6,
Like
1.43.
1.43,
Yeah, like
yeah.
it's gotta be
You know what I liked the
Be like
most
pie.
about that match was
like the number pi, right?
what I like most about that match was seeing how happy Professor Draculino was with that.
Oh,
man. Yeah.
And I've seen him coach a lot of people. I mean, you see how happy he gets when people win championships, world championships. We just saw it, and how happy he was with Johnny Boy winning that match.
Yeah, I mean, he had.
You can say it. It
He
almost
had
made us
a
all cry.
Professor had like black belts he's had under him for years competing on this match on this card, and the picture he chose to talk about the night was the picture of him hugging Jonathan after his fight, which was amazing. Goes to show you how much, not just how much respect, but just like how much admiration we all have for John.
He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, man.
Yeah.
And he is a beast on the mats.
Yeah, and like with that match, I mean, like Professor Draculino told me today, Johnny Boy got invited to the Abu Dhabi World Pro in LA and to compete free of charge. They're going to fly him out.
Well, he has
Really?
to.
That's
Well,
awesome.
he has to go. He has
LA.
to. Yeah, he has to go to one in LA, and if he wins
Then he
there,
goes to Abu Dhabi.
then he goes to
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
But they're
Wow.
giving it
But
free
he-
of charge and everything.
Like
Like
a trials invite. That's amazing.
Yeah, so to the
Legit.
because
That's
Abu
amazing.
Dhabi has a whole para-athlete
yeah.
division for jiu-jitsu, because over there it's a national sport. They do it at school, so like they have. I mean,
Dude,
the
it's-
para division.
That
is
just gave me goosebumps because it just shows like this idea that we had and the impact that it can actually have on so many people once it's executed and then the hard work goes through and it can make people's lives. You know,
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
I'm super excited when I heard that news, man.
You
Yeah,
guys, it's like you guys are making strides for grappling in general,
Well, I
and
mean,
the way
well,
the
well-
events go, but for the people who compete as well.
Well, Zach will tell you, like when we were talking about, like that was a match I wanted to do for a long time, like with the Johnny Boy thing. But I wanted to find the right guy, and we saw Ruben fight at the qualifiers. I was like, Zach, this is our guy.
That's it,
Like
man.
this is the guy, because I had this grand, like not scheme, but it was like, hey, really want to pay homage to the We Defy Foundation. I really want to pay homage to Johnny Boy because I've trained with him multiple times, and it just shows you that fat, skinny, old, disabled,
You don't got to talk about yourself like that,
terribly-
Ryan.
you know what I'm saying? I didn't.
You don't got to talk about yourself
Hey,
like
it's
that.
okay.
It's okay.
It's all day. But no. But what I was saying was with him, he had a lot of oh shit, sorry. He had a lot to overcome to be able to train and just compete daily. And there's people, they put on a better match than some of these black belts did on the card.
Dude, that was an
The guy
amazing
didn't even
match.
have he didn't even have legs, and he put on more competitive, exciting matches than some of the other guys did.
I agree, man.
So-
That was definitely one of my top 3 of the evening to watch.
Another thing, a big takeaway that I heard from a lot of friends, mostly the ones that don't train that were there, even my wife, she was like, this makes me want to train. This makes me want to go do jiu-jitsu. This was awesome. There were certain matches, I think, that kind of inspired people like, I need to do this too. And I think the Natalia Stephanie one was definitely one where people you don't even have to know anything about what was going on to have been pumped by her getting that finish and with
At the
1 second.
last
1 second left.
second.
And like with what we were saying, I did a lot of interviews leading up to this, but it was like, I've been saying it since the beginning. Like we want to go, I don't care about practitioners. There's plenty of events that cater to jiu-jitsu practitioners only and whatever, it gives them a platform. We wanted to move past the practitioner and go to the people that come to see their jiu-jitsu fighter or whatever compete. We want the family members, the friends, the people that don't do jiu-jitsu to come out and be like, holy shit, that was so much fun. Because that's
Feed
how you're
off
going to grow the
ears,
sport.
man.
It was very intense. It was so people say a concert-like atmosphere,
And that's-
right? And
it absolutely was.
but it really was. Like I've fought many times, tournaments, pro fights, and normally I don't hear.
You don't feel like a rock star.
I don't. Well, the thing is, I don't ever hear the crowd. Once they call my name and I start walking from the back, I don't hear what anybody's telling me. Like as I'm walking to the stage, I don't see the crowd at all. And while I'm fighting, I'm just fighting. This is the first time I legit kind of during the fight I was like, oh fuck, that's a lot of people calling my name.
Dude,
And-
that was an amazing crowd, man.
and the venue was larger than Scout Bar, right? Way more people, and I
just
felt
saw a sea of people's
I felt
heads,
like
right?
I felt like
It was crazy.
I felt like I was
Yeah.
closer to the crowd at this past one, even though I was literally closer at Scout Bar. But it was real intense, and you could see people teared up. As you go back, because people were standing on things.
Well, no,
So
there was an elevated
there was
seating.
an elevated seated thing, yeah. So that was really cool.
Yeah,
to
it looked
look
like
at.
it went down and then up.
Yeah,
It
that
was a sea of people, and it's just crazy. Like a lot of people doubted us, or a lot of people were like, "Oh, Ryan and Zach, what are these? They don't know what they're doing.
These fucking blue belts.
These fucking blue belts. Who do they think they are? Oh my God, how
Never
dare
heard
he?"
anybody say that.
Of course,
Yeah,
we
it's
do.
'cause
They say it behind our
Ryan
backs.
says it.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan says
They say it
They
behind
said
our
it to
backs.
Ryan.
Yeah, they say it behind our backs.
As you're
But
walking away.
But no, it's been really cool to come in and just continuously put on great events. I mean, we got some things we got to fix, but to go. I mean, from day
But this
one.
is your second main event. Like this is
The third one is gonna. I mean, we already changed it.
Like it's number
December's
one,
gonna
then
be
qualifier,
amazing.
and then the 2. So like, there's a lot of room for
Name the
to
last
grow
time.
and improvement.
Name the last time you ever saw an environment or heard an environment like you saw at Warehouse Live for a grappling event.
I don't like trick
Think
questions.
of
Never.
the second. Think of the second UFC, and then think about where the UFC now, and then think about that was Third Coast Grappling's second event, and just think about the potential that is there.
Yeah, I mean, it's about to be a different game.
Oh, we got women and children in here now.
Oh,
no.
boy. Yeah.
I like
Oh.
women. I'm talking about Ricky.
Oh, Ricky.
So I guess we're in
Rikina.
the no curse zone.
Nah, he can hear it. He'll be fine.
He's got his headphones. He clearly just has no headphones on.
This is Professor Allen's son, so he's heard all kinds of things.
You know what the
We don't
sad thing
even
is?
know.
Alan's going to give him the headphones for the podcast, so he's going to have direct listening to us. Yeah.
He's
He's
like,
have to
here,
hear
listen
it.
to this live stream of the Fifth Strike.
Mateus, you got your Beyblades?
Shout out to Mateus. What up, buddy?
No Beyblades tonight?
No.
He's
Oh,
like,
we can have Beyblade Championship
all right.
on the
it's like,
podcast.
it's so much fun. I got to go to Dad's office today.
Back on the Johnny Boy match.
Yeah, for sure.
Last time I checked, it was like almost over 400,000 views, and it's
Dude.
had like 20,000
Really?
shares. It went completely viral.
Man, it
I
is-
had
yeah, it's
I had
amazing.
the Army Combatives school reached out. The Royal Marines from the UK reposted
Really?
the video. I mean, it went all over the place, dude.
That's amazing.
all over the place. I mean, it was unreal to see it blow up like that. It's kind of what I was wanting. It's kind of how we were playing. I was like, hey, we're gonna put this out there. People are gonna be blown away like we are.
Yeah,
and they were. It was unreal.
it was impressive. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, we got
Professor Allen in the house.
one of
What's up,
two of our
buddy?
amazing commentators from the night.
Commentary team
Well,
had the pocket square.
that is true. While we have a bit of a lag, let's give a shout out to one more sponsor.
Are we still doing sponsors?
Yeah,
we got through one. We got through one.
We did one sponsor.
Yeah.
Just like name them off. None of them are paying.
How about this one? All right,
Yeah,
great.
like let's
that's
cut them
true.
all.
Let's
Like
go.
literally
Let's
cut them
go.
all.
Manfeed Pro, Saloon Door, Canix, Third Coast Grappling. Let's
No,
get
no.
into the Third Coast Grappling. Keep going.
Well, Saloon Door is paying us obviously
Yeah.
with beers.
Yeah, Canex is paying us as well. So whatever.
Shout out Manfeed Pro. I made my weight.
Has anybody?
Ryan took a
yeah.
really good picture of
We
me.
gotta
and I was
find
like,
out if
fucking-
anybody bought from you yet. Has anybody said like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy"? And
I've been telling people.
Alberto,
man,
you
I've
have
been giving out that
inspired
card.
me. I want your man feed in my mouth.
I actually do like
You can
the
have all of
protein.
it.
I need your protein, Berto. I need your
I need your
protein.
man fed.
I drink that shit every day. It's good.
All right, so yeah, shout out to
can tell.
Canix.
My protein or
Saloon Door.
Manfeed?
Oh,
Hey.
In a blender.
And Third Coast Grappling, which is our recap episode today. So we're going to continue on.
we
It's
got
amazing.
Nicholas Meregal is going to join us in studio.
Gave the answer away.
Like Ricky and Professor Isai, we had lunch with him. Like, cool dude. He said he's going to come in here and show the loop choke on Coach Ricky. So
Oh, nice.
He almost got. So he tried that loop choke on. Maybe I should save it for whenever he gets it. But for
Yeah.
Keenan twice, and Keenan rolled out of it.
well, Keenan, I brought up at lunch, and Niragali didn't know this. Keenan's only been submitted twice as a black belt.
Yeah,
and both of
one
them
was
were
Gordon Ryan.
both of them were Gordon Ryan.
Yeah, one was
Oh,
the
really?
ADCC and no gi.
Yep.
He got that guillotine rolled on.
He did the rolled onto the top to the
Got
mount.
front headlock, rolled to
Man.
his back, and then it was in the guillotine.
But he
mean,
hasn't
like-
been tapped since as a black belt. Only Gordon Ryan.
I mean, like I said, we can get into it later, but Jesus, that fucking loop choke. Came
Yeah,
out
let's
of
save
fucking
the
nowhere.
Meregali talk till we got the Meregali in here, man.
Yeah, we'll wait. But he did in Worlds try the same thing on Keenan twice. And
Dude, that was almost like a dab choke. How far that other arm?
No,
was
dude, like, he
across,
was just,
man.
like,
That
out
was
there. I was like,
yeah, that was insane.
Well, because immediately, I guess
we'll
immediately
save it.
Cyborg rolled over, to try to escape it.
But it was
just
Man, it was nuts. I mean, one of the other matches that stood out was DJ Jackson and Cody Steele.
Yes.
Cody Steele, a brown belt. Like Cody's opponent, Mateus Lutez, he pulled
That-
out. And so I had to get a scrambled for a replacement. And DJ had been hitting us up wanting to fight for us. I was like, DJ, this is what we got. I got a brown belt. I don't care is what DJ said. Let's do it. So we got DJ in. And Cody, man, I've watched
DJ didn't want to. He didn't want to wrestle him.
I did not see
Yeah.
that fight
did
going
not.
I didn't
that
see it.
way.
Me neither. I was shocked.
Not,
What
not at all.
Professor Brandon said during it, he goes, "I've never seen DJ on bottom."
I've never
Yeah.
seen him like pressed like that before.
So,
it was
so
unreal.
one thing after the the event, I went up to DJ Jackson. I was like, "Hey, DJ," he just started talking. I was like, "Hey, I've never seen you pull guard. Were you injured? What was the problem? Were you tired?" He was just like, "Man, you have this guy. He's putting pressure. I just wanted to try a different game, right? It was obvious. Cody pushed the pace, got him tired." I was expecting DJ to just wrestle.
I mean, that's because he has that low center of gravity. You know, he's always been like the wrestle first type.
DJ's always very physically imposing, and he was not able to do that this
very
fight.
strong.
Cody was
for
way
size.
more physically imposing.
Well, he had the top position, so he gave. I mean, it's.
But he didn't let the guy get up. Like he just kept pressure
Get the pressure
every
on.
I
time.
gotta say too, it is a pretty baller move to take your shirt off
Mid-match.
halfway through the match and be like, I don't need this rash guard.
And just hear the ladies go wild. They're like,
You know, he
That
should
was
have
actually
it.
Berto. That was actually Berto. Was
Like,
that way.
I think. Did Robert fight before him?
Robert fought after him.
He fought after him.
No, it was before him.
It was
Right
before,
him.
right? So I think he came. I think he probably was like, he didn't fucking wear a rash guard. I can take mine
Roberto
off.
came in like ADCC style.
Yeah, he came in just with the nogi shorts.
He was ready, man.
And then got taken out by a rear naked choke that he chose in overtime. Come on, man.
You got to know them OT
You
rules.
gotta come to the rules.
You got to get them OT rules going, right?
You
Hey,
fought for
hey, you know what?
This is
You know
his
what?
second. He's an alumni too. This is his second.
You gotta ask
third coach
questions.
Grappling.
That is
and
true.
You got to
no
ask
change.
questions. If you're the fighter, ask questions. Man, I was expecting people to ask a lot more questions at the rules meeting.
And they were just like Wagner Rocha was the only one in Gordon.
Yeah, like I was sitting next to. I was
Because
sitting
those
next
guys are
to.
super professional.
Yeah, I was sitting
right?
next to Edwin Najmi, and he, after Ryan pointed that I was one of the refs, he started asking me some questions about the overtime rules, and I was more than happy to answer. But people need to, they need to ask the question.
There was some.
So now that we're actually talking about the overtime rules, I know there was talk that you're for the next upcoming event. There might be some talk about maybe simplifying.
Well,
it a bit.
here's the deal. Like, I'm not going to be an asshole about it, but
Yeah.
we gave people way too much credit
So-
and got way too ambitious with our overtime rule set at first. So
Yeah.
we're going to simplify it a little bit. We're going to have it translated to Portuguese. We're going to do all kinds of things. I'm serious.
Look,
I
but
mean,
look-
you're laughing, but I'm serious.
Here's
No,
my,
no,
here's my
it's
thing.
legit.
You cannot show. Let's say I cannot go to Buffalo Wild Wings, let's say, and be upset because they don't have
Italian
Japanese
food.
ramen.
You can't
And I'm
be
like,
pissed off
how can
that
you? How
Taco
can
Bell
you?
ain't got a burger.
Yeah, how come you don't have Japanese ramen? I love that food. Why wouldn't you have it? Like, we're Buffalo Wild Wings, man. We got wings and beer. What do you want?
Buffaloes.
Same thing. Like people come to these events and then complain about the rules they agreed to, right? Whether you read them over or not, by signing the contract, you agreed to the rules of the event. Just like IBJJF. Hey, you break IBJJF rule in a tournament, guess what? You DQ'd. You don't get your money
Most
back.
people don't know IBJJF rules.
Which is
How many
surprising.
people actually go to an IBJJF rules meeting?
Man, they have a full PDF online. You can download it, look at it all
But,
you
like,
want. People don't read
to the
them.
meeting. I know.
I thought they had a rules video as well out there where
They
actually
do have.
show
They have
everything.
videos also.
So,
Yeah.
it's a lot of times, a lot of these competitors, from what I saw from where I was standing, a lot of these guys their instincts were to play the IBJJF game, right? You can tell they knew the rules, they knew there was an overtime, but they kept looking at the score and kept trying to push the pace. And one thing that I was disappointed. One thing is for the competitor to not know the rules. I get that, right? But your corner. If you're going to be screaming and hollering and they don't know the rules, that's a problem.
That is
now,
a problem.
another thing
Big
is,
problem.
this event has brand new rules. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 events.
Well,
before,
the first event had brand new rules. The third one. has
what
the
I'm
same
saying
rule
is,
set.
but it's first competition for someone who are competing on this, right?
Right.
So Ryan, I know you're getting messages from high level guys who are trying to get onto this card. Now, if this is their first time getting on, they may have problems,
So,
right?
you know what? Like today, like Cabrini hit us up. He's like, "Yo, me and my son want to come fight in December." That's crazy. Like getting messages like that. Legends that are just like, "We want to come fight for you guys. We saw it. It's awesome." And I'm like, "Hell yeah, we'll put Kennedy and Cabrini on." Let's do it.
And we can give you some back history on where we came up with this. We liked that instead of doing advantages, we wanted to have some kind of overtime, and we thought what would push the pace the most is if you have the first one that gets a point, right? We do that in our training all the time, right?
Yeah.
And also
And it
in our
pushes the
training
pace.
and on our training too, we do positional training.
Yeah, OT is
So
basically
we-
positional training.
And what you see with like the EBIs is that they end up training all the time in spider web and back. They do. Well, let's do EBI training now. And so what we wanted to introduce was, how about you train jiu-jitsu to be ready for our overtime rules, right?
Be a well-rounded athlete.
And
you know?
and let's make it strategic in that if we're starting standing, it's going to be who's ever the better wrestler unless somebody pulls, right? But even if somebody pulls, the right timing, somebody can lose with the takedown, and then that's it.
I really like that you're starting them on the ground.
Well,
for the
like
overtime.
Craig Jones and Mateus Denise, Mateus didn't want to do the overtime. So I was like, okay, we'll just do it on the feet, first point of submission. Mateus knew he's a stronger wrestler. He came out there and double-legged Craig right to the mat and won.
That was impressive.
You know what I'm saying? So he played that game to where he gamed the system a little bit during standard because he knew if he got to overtime, he'd start on the feet, could take down Craig and win.
And one
and
thing I'm really impressed was with Craig Jones. I mean, we had him on the podcast during the weigh-ins.
Great dude.
And he's super cool. You know, we
I
cracked
love that rash guard he had. Fuck Craig.
Fuck Craig Jones. I'm
we,
gonna give
we,
fuck Berto
we cracked
Ritas.
a few jokes
Hey,
on him.
I'll wear it.
We talked about having a condom saying.
Yeah, so we cracked some jokes on Craig Jones, and he took it well, right? Yeah. And he's the type of guy who would agree to, hey, first point when he knows he's not going to take the other guy down, right? So that just shows the type of guy that he is.
But I mean, I'm going to tell you all something like kind of under the radar people don't know. Craig Jones was probably the most inexpensive person we had on our card, and probably the biggest and one of the biggest names.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like he wanted to come
Got
fight
like
for
17 million listeners.
us. He wanted to come fight for us. He was like, man, I don't need a bunch of money. Just cover this and that. Bring my buddy on from Australia, James Walters, and let's make it a party.
Yeah.
And he wants to, and dude, he was the coolest, the easiest to work with.
Dude, Craig Jones was amazing. He was
The
super
guys
nice.
the guys that were hard to work with were the ones that are like. That like I'm not gonna give it into.
So
it,
during the Craig Jones and Mateus Denise match, I actually broke my referee face. So I was trying to be very professional. Keep an eye on the match the whole time. Not show too much emotion. But I heard somebody be like, "Craig, I want to have your baby," or some shit
I heard
like
that
that
as well,
People
yeah.
kept saying this shit, and like at one point, like you could probably see it during the match. I just like I just crack up. I couldn't
You
help
kind
it.
of went viral because that video of him taking down Craig Jones and them winning the match went pretty viral because everyone was like, "What is that?"
Yeah,
What-
who's that ref back there? He is
they're like,
fucking
man,
sexy.
is that a kangaroo or a black belt? It
might be both.
Well, they
I was
said
surprised.
kangaroo
I was
They
actually
thought that we
surprised
had a
by
special
how
ed
big
guy as a
lot of
referee.
those guys were.
That's his
Maybe
name,
they said
special
a
ed.
sexy kangaroo.
Dude,
we don't
you
know.
know
what
what? You know what was crazy?
special ed kangaroo.
I've been telling this. I've been telling people this today during the Meregal and Cyborg match. So they're both in their stance. So they're squatting a little bit. Their elbows are in tight. They're like measuring. They're moving a little bit, right? So they're
You're
squatting
still
down.
looking up
I am.
to them.
I am
I'm going to
standing.
adjust the camera so they can see.
Like I am standing straight up with good posture, and they are both.
But don't adjust the camera, just
still-
switch the camera.
They're both still taller than me.
Cause you're just a wee little man, just a wee little fella.
Like I was like, "Fuck these dudes are big,
some of
man."
those guys were crazy, but
They're
like
huge.
you see them against, I guess, next to other guys of the same stature. It's kind of like football players, and you look at some of the basketball players like. Muggsy Bogues was like 6 foot, right?
No, he's 5'3".
Or no, not Muggsy Bogues. There's somebody. Oh, Allen Iverson was 6 foot.
Yeah,
He didn't look like he was 6 foot, right? Because he's up against
Paul.
6. Yeah,
Chris Paul's like 6 foot, 6'1".
right. And I think it's the kind of the same way as you see them in person. You're like, man, you're fucking like Craig Jones is pretty.
Brian
fucking big."
Cushing. Brian Cushing.
Oh, that guy was-
We had a table full of Texans players. They train at Gracie Baja West Chase. But the guys came out that we put them mat side and they loved it, man. There was multiple.
Brian Cushing looks like John Cena's cousin.
Brian Cushing was like 6'6", 6'7", just jacked, and like I was like,
He looked like a monster.
he's like, hey bro, y'all need to come over and train with us. I'm like, all right, bro, see you on Wednesday.
All I thought of was the what would you do if you had to go up against The Rock, and The Rock is probably bigger than what in real life than what he actually looks like. And I said if I had to go against Brian Cushing there, who's still a white belt, I don't think I would win.
We need BJ versus Brian Cushing on 3CG3. Billy Jones versus Brian Cushing
Ooh, shit.
in the house. Nah, I'm just messing.
Hey, Ryan,
that's not even-
two things.
I'm just joking around, but
Two-
no, man, it was.
Two things. Professional pictures from I Rule
Hosanna.
photos,
She is
right?
the stoic little warrior.
she's
She
so
is
That's
my
one.
pint-sized warrior.
That's one. If you see the
That
way
dope-
the pictures
dope
were taken,
photos.
the lighting.
She's the best,
It
dude.
was the best. And did you see like our superhero picture at the end of it? Anyways, second thing.
She's a total pro.
Pro, she's great,
Not even
talented.
just their product, but just her in general.
Yeah.
She's just a total.
And the thing is, I don't think you guys realize, man, after the Third Coast event, she wasn't done for the weekend.
She went to
She's been-
Tampa to the Boxing Hall of
Tampa.
Fame.
Dude, she has been working all weekend. She's I was checking her Facebook. She had a 45-minute break on the beach for the weekend.
Man, I'll
She
tell
is
you what,
working hard,
her
man.
hustle, she's grinding, right? She takes the best pictures in combat sports. So I just want to give a shout out there. And number 2, Ryan, I know I sent you a text, AC Slater versus Zach Morris.
All right, look, here's the deal with that match. Here's what's going to happen. It already happened like 20 years ago on an episode of Saved by the
you're
Bell.
right.
And you know what happened?
That is true.
Did you know what happened between them? The rematch will be, it'll be everything that the original match wasn't. I think Zach's going to be able to defend himself better.
They
He's been doing
train now.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, they both.
Mario
So he was
Lopez
just a
isn't just going to
wrestler.
sun his ass.
I think Mario's a GB
AC
guy.
I'm gonna
Right?
be honest with you.
Mario does, yeah.
Yeah, Mario's a Gracie Baja guy.
I think we should do a no-gi match, but the requirement is that AC Slater has to wear a singlet.
A neon
He has to
singlet.
wear a Bayside singlet.
Or they dress 80s style.
no, it has to be
Bayside
Bayside.
singlet.
No, it has to say Bayside High School.
Yeah, Bayside singlet, and then Zach Morris has to wear some 80s board shorts.
Actually, the promo card of like the verses is like Saved by the Bellish.
Let's see if we can get a Kapowski and let's see if we can get Kelly and Jesse to come in there and like.
We
Yeah,
had this
no,
talk.
that's
Jesse is
legit.
all smacked out on like diet pills. She's
No,
a
no,
mess
no.
right now.
She's better now. Didn't you see Showgirls?
Did you see Showgirls? Yeah, man. Did you see that road that it took her down?
I saw parts of Showgirls.
You know,
I was young.
She's all better now.
Oh, better.
I'm a Jesse Spano fan.
Dude, I was a Kelly Kapowski fan, man.
I mean, of course, but
Bro.
Jesse wasn't bad. She had that frizzy
Tiffany
hair.
At least a
Amber?
turtle guy over here.
Tiffany Amber. Oh,
Turtles.
It all depended on the season, right? I
Hey,
mean,
right,
like halfway through season 3, I changed to Jesse, and then Lisa
then-
Turtle
and
got
then
one or
Lisa
two.
like got put her hair
episodes.
down a little bit. She looked a little fly. You know what I mean? She
then
didn't have it all
season
curled
four.
up.
Season 4 was Mr. Belding. We got you, man. That's good.
Professor Allen here was like 50 then, so he was more the college years.
The
liked
college
He
years.
got the college years, yeah.
That's a metric 50.
I saw them all.
So did I. I love that show.
Man, you know what fight was crazy? Was Jordan Holly and
Castell, bro.
Yeah,
Oh,
super.
Castell.
The
technical
leg
So-
locks.
straight.
Dude, so I can't tell. That's the most I've talked to my own brain throughout a match ever.
Trying to understand,
Yeah, I
like,
had to.
where their legs
I had to be
are.
like,
Forebrain.
no, I had to be like,
Forebrain.
okay, he's on top, he's on top, he's on top, he's on top, because they're both on their butt the whole time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, he's on top, he's on top.
One of them did sweep
No, they,
themselves.
no, they, they,
Yeah.
they swept
They
back
kept
and
going back and
forth.
forth,
I
yeah.
kept like giving out sweeps because they would get the sweep, they would establish for 3 seconds, and then jump back on the foot. So I had to keep, so they're both on their butt attacking each other's foot for like minutes at a time. So I just have to keep track in my head of who's actually on top. And then when the other guy gets up, two.
That was
wa-
crazy.
down,
Watching,
two.
That was
watching
fun
the
watching
rematch,
points on
I
that
could
one.
not tell what the hell was going on.
Like, you know, it was really cool seeing like the leg lock was Wagner versus Ethan Krellinston. Like
man.
Ethan was like going at Wagner. Wagner just like Flo did like a whole article about it, like a master class on leg lock defense.
Yeah.
Like the blueprints out there. All the guys that were like sneaking up on dudes and heel hooking them and winning all these championships. That shit's over now. Like everybody's training leg lock defense now.
It's
like
So it's gonna have to be
Barambolo.
another meta game that's gonna come through and it's gonna be like, oh well, everybody's doing worm guard now, or everybody's doing lapels now. You know, it's like-
Barambolo and shit. When that shit got
I mean,
popular.
Ryan, I remember our the podcast that we had at the weigh-ins. What did Ryan, Gordon Ryan say? He was like, people think I'm a.
too drunk by then.
Yeah, what do you
I
say?
mean,
I don't like my
the,
shirt.
the one thing that I
It's
understood.
too hot. My shirt's uncomfortable.
How about this? Let's
I
have
don't
the.
know. What did he
if
say?
you're listening right now, you should definitely go check the weigh-ins and
Yeah.
send us a message about what was fucking
So,
said.
so basically, he said, "Hey, I'm known as a leg lock guy because no one knows how to
defend them.
defend the heel hook. So I'm heel hooking people.
Yeah.
But it's like the Barambolo. People know how to defend the Barambolo. People know how to heel hook. Know how to defend the heel hook a lot better now. So that's what's going on, right? So now you're gonna see him. People are thinking, oh, he's gonna go for the heel hook. He's gonna do regular jiu-jitsu.
He hasn't heel hooked anybody.
You haven't seen him heel hook anybody in a long
He's been
time.
taking it like Nogi Worlds. He didn't do one heel hook because you can't.
Yeah.
But he
But
took
even in
everybody
other
back and choked him
matches,
out.
even in like his size and stuff. And
The
the
Zhao
quartet,
well,
he did not.
like Zhao Rocha, he did go for heel hook attempts on him, but he was just able to defend and get out.
But that's also a
So-
good thing now. I think is like you get that point to where you go into a match with someone and they're like, man, this guy's a heel hook specialist. I need to watch my heel, and they're need to watch my leg, and all of a sudden you're getting choked out. It's when you almost get that mental game on someone to prep for something and then just go a different route.
I'm gonna heel hook you after this
Another
broadcast.
good part of the event was when everyone started to yell, "Let's go, Mike!" and Mike Seafood.
Mike Seafood.
Yeah, Mike
Mike's-
Seafood.
Dude,
Mike
I like it.
Seafood.
What's on the side of your head? That's a
Mike's-
beautiful question.
That was an exciting fight.
That
too,
was like
because
a,
that was close.
Oh,
That
they were pissed at the end.
I had to
too.
throw a dude off the
So look-
stage after that. Like,
Oh.
I told you about
Yes.
that.
That was
I
crazy,
told you
man.
about
No,
that.
Berto comes running up to me. He's like, "Yo, this guy just bumped into Tiago, our referee, and he started talking shit." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
I was
so-
like, "Get this motherfucker off the fucking
They're like,
stage."
that's,
so-
that's it. Get Blue Belt Ryan
He
in
missed
here.
the-
We're
yeah,
fucking
so-
this up.
takedown point for Mike
Yes.
before then.
So what happened was, if you didn't see the ending of that fight, what happens is the ref Tiago is telling the other guy to stand up.
He's too tired.
Yeah, he said, stand up, stand up, stand up. And then the guy didn't stand up.
So he said,
then he, go. And then Mike rushed him. He's supposed to be standing at this point, so he scored him the 2.
Takedown.
All right, so there was a little bit of controversy at the end. This guy that was up on stage, and he was like close to the mat. We thought he was like a corner. He got all upset, whatever. And some people were upset. But then he like shoulder checked Tiago, who was the ref, and like said something to him. And I was like,
we didn't want this to turn into
motherfucker.
All Stars BJJ.
Yeah, like
All of a sudden, Berto's shoulders start going a little bit forward. He's like,
because I mean, I know how I would have reacted if that would have been me. So I was just like, Ryan, that dude just fucking pushed the ref. Get him the fuck out
And
of
so
here.
I went and got the Guam security. I was like, hey guys, take
Guam atomic bomb.
him out of the venue. Like, come get him off. And I told him, I said, don't you ever fucking come back. And they took him straight out the venue.
but you know what? For such a huge event with such a big collection of big grappler, big name grapplers, people who fight for a living, man, it was a really smooth, well-run event. I mean, that was a small hiccup in the grand scheme of
They've
things.
done different fights in Warehouse Live before, and she said that this was the first time where they didn't have the fighters completely separated, like where they couldn't see each other.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, there's going to be some issues," but she was like, "Nope, this was the smooth."
No,
and
jiu-jitsu people are different.
Jiu-jitsu crowds, like
that's what we had to tell her. We're like, "This is you don't
It's
get
a different
it.
crowd, man.
No, like with the first event, 3CG1, people just got hammered, had a good time, and even the venue was like, man, these guys, I mean, it's the most peaceful crowd we've ever had.
Tex and Keenan were hanging out before the match, right?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they
And
were
then he put
hanging out
48
backstage.
points on him. Like, what kind of friend is that? Like,
Did you say 428 or
Well,
48?
they're just pros. Like they can separate what they do on the mat to
like-
what
Yeah, like,
business
what they
and
do.
friendship, man.
Like I ran into the guy I fought backstage a couple times, and I was just like, "Hey man, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing. I'll see you in a bit." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll see you in a bit too." Like
that guy's pretty
all
cool.
right.
Tito Castro. He's a
You
cool dude.
talk to him much? I just had some short words.
No, I mean, I had to deal with him the whole way. I mean, he's from Mexico. We flew him up. I mean, he's a good friend of Hosanna's.
Yeah, he has a school down there, right?
He used to represent a lot of people. He ran like a thing called Samurai Fighting Championship down in Mexico, and he came up and he cornered. I think what was her name? It's a UFC chick. She's pretty well off.
Because he's done some MMA before.
Yeah,
right?
he did. Yeah, he's an MMA
little
coach
bit.
as well, and he's been doing a lot of like jiu-jitsu super fights down there.
Real nice guy. Well,
I mean, he went on your.
It's different when you're getting paid to like do something you love. You don't get so upset with like oh, you're my enemy. I don't know.
I told
still
this.
having a good day at the
I
office.
said this to somebody at the weigh-ins. Like, it really annoys me when jiu-jitsu guys get like they put their hands up in the like that. Like, you're not gonna punch anybody. First of all,
do this like.
Right, just
gotta hold the extra position.
I just want to do.
Hey, Professor Isai now. Right here.
You're like
All
choking
here,
them
baby.
from a distance. You're like,
here.
I'm totally choking you right
Force
now.
choke. Force choke.
I'm squishing your head.
Professor Isai's ready to take those
Pressure.
rips
I'm
off.
muffling you. Quiet. I'm muffling you.
Can't breathe.
But did you see, like in the girls' match? I think it was Mackenzie versus Julie, or when she started doing like trying to cut off homegirls' breathing
Yeah.
and stuff, and she was like holding her mouth shut. And shit.
I think I was backstage for that one. I
I was
didn't
super
see that
impressed
one.
with Julie. Like she,
Really
so
good.
she's wife of Colin, who
Colin, yeah.
was a previous alumni of Third Coast Grappling qualifiers.
He stepped in against what was his name last minute? Andrew Tackett.
Like literally last minute, step in and really good dude.
No, he fought. No, I don't know who he fought. I can't remember. No, it was William Tackett who he fought on the first one.
Yeah,
He stepped in last
tough
minute,
first match.
and then William got his purple belt like the next day.
Right. But no, he stepped up. He did a great job, and then his wife came in and beat Mackenzie, which is she's no joke. She's really good. She's
had
the guillotine queen, right?
She's like 1 and 2, and her first match was great, and then she ran into it. She's had a couple of bumpy ones, but she's a good competitor. She's good.
man, the ladies put on some really good matches that night.
We've got one that's coming up too.
Andressa Sintra and what was her name?
No, don't say that. Not that one.
Not that one.
Okay,
say that.
like Molly, our old fighter relations gal.
That's right.
She was initially supposed to fight Natalia Santoro.
Yes.
So 3CG3, Molly, Natalia Santoro is going down.
Man, you know what match I was really impressed was Jimenez versus Mourinho.
Oh yeah.
Man, that was good.
So one
Pedro's
thing-
a savage, man.
Yeah.
One thing calling the match from the side, you can tell Mourinho was going for the guillotine from the beginning, right?
Well, he jumped on that first.
So
Well, it was
first,
like he was
he was
shooting
attacking. He was attacking, but
You said Raul Jimenez and
Pedro Mourinho and Roberto. Every time he shot and he caught that guillotine.
Pedrinho. Yeah.
So what was going on? Like if I'm Jimenez, I'm like, all right, Mourinho has great grip strength, great arm strength, or great arm positioning. So we were talking about the rules during the live broadcast. We're saying like, hey, if you got great defense, a lot of times you're gonna choose top or bottom or position. I would probably choose, I would choose the back. I know you're gonna attack, right, or mount. Right, and if you know you're confident in your defense, once you get out, momentum's on top. It's easier to sweep, right? Thinking from this position. So that's what he did, but the wrong position. You have someone who's like Mourinho, who obviously had such great grip strength, who was showing it from the beginning of the match. You don't want to choose back.
Absolutely
you want to
not.
choose something maybe like mount, right?
Yeah.
Because he would probably have
Mount
to go
wasn't
for-
an option. It was side control.
Well, I'm
back.
just giving you an example. If you had to choose, or top or whatever, but you just didn't want to be in the back, which is going to be the same type of positioning like a guillotine, which is from the back, which is Marino's strength, right?
That's
so
one of
that's
those
what
things.
I caught that right away.
That's one of those things I like actually
Yeah.
about the OT setup is the fighters have to come in and hopefully you've done a little bit of research on your opponent or at least know a little bit about him because
You
if
know how to
do
read
get
the rules, dude. You think they're researching their opponents?
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I'm trying to be optimistic.
Here's the thing: is that you know each single one of those guillotines was legit because if it wasn't, he would have tossed him on his ass off of that single leg because he had the leg.
he kept
every
pushing
single-
like, oh.
yeah, he had the leg every single time, and then he would get in deep on that
Pedro
guillotine
said
and
that
he would pull away.
He actually did study. So Pedro was saying, he told me after the match, he goes, I was studying how he kind of shoots in with his head down a little low. So I was looking to get that guillotine right away, and you saw it 3 times.
Yeah.
and,
Well,
and
he's special,
Roberto
man.
didn't
Like,
want anything to do with
he
it.
had to let the leg go, or he
And that was a
going
master
to,
class
yeah.
in defending
Yeah.
the
that,
takedown.
that was a
I thought
world
that
class
was
jiu-jitsu.
The match I want to see is maybe a Tackett versus a Pedro or something like that. Like we're probably going to do Tackett versus Nicky Ryan in December. So
Really? That sounds
that's the
interesting.
one that we're looking at. I mean, I got some loose ends to tie up over in Nicky Ryan land with that whole crew, but I mean, Tackett's in. We almost made it for this last 3CG, but Nicky had to fight. He get ready for
Tackett's
80
game for every single one of our
He'll
events.
fight all of us
I'll-
at the
I'll
same
do
time.
it.
He don't care.
Tackett's game for sure. That's
Like
gonna be
they
good.
roll out, they win the 3CG, right? Him and Cody, and then they fly out to Chicago the next day, and Tackett has like 3 or 4 fights and wins the Midwest Finishers title the
Nice.
day after our event. Cody wins his super fight. All of them after competing like that. It's just
Have you seen some of Cody's training videos?
No, I
And,
have not.
He's got some Instagram stories that are pretty good. Like
slams and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's legit, and he just showed that. Hopefully, we gave him a stage where his stardom can go up a little bit.
Well, one thing we were talking about, who's going to be the star that breaks out, right? Out of 3CG, I think Cody has a chance to do that. Him and the Tackett brothers as well, right? But Cody, going against DJ Jackson, no-gi world's champion, taking him out. And he I wouldn't say he took him out easy, but man, he did a great job against a game opponent. And I think this is his breakout. I think 3CG3, maybe, you can put him up through someone, a little higher.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw Cody, I think I was at the Austin Open a couple years ago, and I remember we were standing on the side. I was getting ready to go, and I just hear everybody go, "Oh my God!" And I just saw like a head come up like above the
off.
crowd, and then he was picking him up to suplex this guy in an IBJJF tournament in the gi. He picks this dude up like belly to back suplex and just drops him on his head.
The
I'm
guy
like, boom!
gets knocked out.
Yeah,
You remember
unconscious.
seeing that?
That video.
I say, weren't
made
you
the
there?
rounds.
Didn't you see that him get slammed? That guy in Austin
Cody
Open,
Steele.
Cody
We were all in
Steele
Austin,
slammed that
remember?
guy.
Cody Steele.
We were all there.
So I was just like walking. I was trying to get some acai. And
Acai with some acai.
I was trying to get some acai, and then I hear boom. Everybody, oh!
World star,
And I
world
turn around and I
star.
see this dude just laid out, And then
I think I remember you telling me about it, and then later on, Ryan was like, "Oh, he's the infamous guy that did the slam in the Austin Open."
I just remember standing there and like Molly and Mo are like right there. I'm like, dude, and I just saw the guy's head go whoop, and then boom, and we go, oh! I was like,
Which
what
I had
happened?
mistaken him for a while because there was another guy that joined the qualifiers that was the guy that Opiano went after on the mat. And I kept on getting confused because you kept on calling him infamous. I was like, oh, is he the guy that Opiano went after? But it wasn't. He was the guy that slammed the dude in the Austin Open.
Hey Ryan, I got a question.
I got an answer.
Where's your Hawaiian shirt, dude?
I got Hawaiian shorts on. I got flamingos and teal going down. Look
Okay,
down.
I mean, I'm just saying, we should have just had all Hawaiian shirts. Meregal comes in here, put a Hawaiian shirt on his ass too.
You know what?
Why do you want to put a shirt on
Did
his
you bring
ass?
yours?
It goes on the chest.
He would dig a Hawaiian
It's
shirt.
an
like that.
underwear that I got, Hawaiian underwear.
Never mind your
Hawaiians don't wear
Can't say
underwear,
it.
so we don't want to see that.
I got like a grass skirt.
So one of the matches I was excited to see. One of the matches I was excited to see was Jackson Souza, Mike Perez. We did have a last second step in with the Travis Moore, who
Nice dude.
totally game. His student Justin Rennick was on. He was one of our qualifiers. He came back.
Andy Cordova.
to fight Andy Cordova, which Andy did a great job.
Great job.
Those guys were
Triangles.
great. I saw them all weekend. They were totally cool. Really
Super
cool.
positive guys. I mean,
Yeah.
and like with Travis Moore, he even confided to me. He was like, "Hey man, like this is on the real, but he's competed for EBI, he's competed for all these other events, and he was like, dude, the moment got to me. Like,
Yeah.
I hadn't been on the big stage in a while, and I kind of froze. He was like, man, like I talked to Isai about it. Like, either you're gonna embrace it and you're gonna perform, or you're gonna lock up and you're gonna get ran through because the pressure affects people differently. I mean, these guys are high level black belts. I mean, Berto and Isai can tell you. I mean,
Yeah, man, you get like you get nervous. It's like the fear, right?
It never goes away.
Yeah,
You're
yeah. So
nervous.
you either use it for you, have the adrenaline going, you're faster, stronger, or you let it consume you, and you get you just fold.
Yeah, Professor. I mean, you can speak on this also. Like for me, whenever I start to get real close to the fight, that's when I start my warm up
hey,
process.
guys, save my seat. I gotta go get our special guest. I'll be right back.
Absolutely. And then whenever you start your warm up process, like you start jumping jacks, running, whatever that is, the anxiety fuels your movement. So then you stop thinking about the fight so much, and you just start thinking about getting your body warm. And then once you start getting warm, now it's like fight mode. What do you think, Professor?
Yeah. So this is crazy. So some of the best matches I've had, it's like if something bad happens. So think about it like I'm on my way to this tournament, I have a blowout or something, right? So now I gotta run to the turn. I gotta fix the tire. I show up late. Man, I gotta be on in 2-3
have no
minutes. I
time
gotta
to think
warm
about
up.
it,
You have
right?
no time to think. Another time, I think I won the Austin Open. I was 6 pounds overweight that morning.
Is it a brown belt?
It's a
Black
brown
belt?
belt.
Brown
Yeah,
belt?
brown belt. 6 pounds overweight. So that whole morning, all I had to do is cut. I did the sauna, the hot bath. The only thing I was worried about is making weight. I show up, I'm right on weight. And then the matches were, they weren't hard. They were easy because I was just worried about the weight, not fearing anything.
That's something I saw in the, back in the back room, the dressing rooms where
Back in
guys
the back.
were warming up. We actually matted out these dressing rooms where rock stars hang out basically before they come out on stage. So there's couches around the mats, and it was like a party, right? The guys were hanging out on the couches as other guys are warming up. They're just talking about old stories. I think they were in Portuguese. I took Portuguese in college, but not well enough to hear stories. But they just seemed to be having a good time, and I think it loosened a lot of people up, especially since a lot of them were waiting for a long time to compete. So that's a lot of time to think about this or that. So if you can stay relaxed and have different people that you haven't seen in a long time, or from other gyms that you respect, and you can pick their brain, it means a lot and can help.
Yeah, before all my MMA fights, if you look at our corner, when Drac is there, Frank, Marcelo, we're not even we're not even all serious. Oh, you're going to kick his ass, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. It's literally just jokes. We're sitting there cracking jokes for 3 hours before we fight.
Man, I was listening to Keenan, podcast Keenan on with Josh Hinger, right? Your boy. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So one thing that Keenan said was, he's like, man, I hate competing, right? I mean, he doesn't like competing. He's like, hey, if I have a big event or something like Worlds or something like Third Coast Grappling 3, right? If he has something like that coming up, he's like, hey, I can't just accept the match, just start training, and then go compete. I need to like mentally get ready for this.
It's a mental game for a lot of people, for sure.
You know, he's like, it takes me about a month to get ready. I need to get focused before I start training, because what happens? Because if you're not mentally into it, man, you're not going to train. I mean, when you're tired as hell, you're not going to do the conditioning after training. You're not going to do all this extra bullshit.
Yeah.
You have to believe in yourself, really. Like you have to train so much and focus that you just believe in yourself. No matter what's gonna happen in there, I'm gonna come out.
in the house.
No, it could be difficult, especially if you have other things going on in your life. Like it can definitely mess you up.
All right. Hey,
We need to pop somebody off.
we have a special guest here coming in tonight. The man of the hour, Mr. Nicholas Meregali.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Come pick a seat. Here you go. Here, come sit over here, buddy.
No, hey, you'll have the mic right there. It'll be easier.
Yeah. It'll be good. Here, come sit over here. Roll on in.
What's that?
Mr. Meregali in the house. Mister, sorry. I mean, but you know, he missed his flight, or not missed his flight. He booked the wrong flight because he just loves Houston so much. So.
Man, you know one thing I noticed about Meregali, Mr. Meregali, you're not as mean as I thought he was, right? You know,
This guy doesn't look mean at all. What are you talking
No,
about?
man. Hey, he's vicious, right? Right before competition, you know.
I got a rabid Rottweiler just pacing.
You don't know what it is. It could, what kind of, it could be a Rottweiler. It could be like a mixed breed, but we don't know. But he's a nice guy. He's here. Thank you. Welcome to Houston. I know you're leaving tomorrow morning.
Evening.
Thank you.
People don't need to know.
It's amazing. Very nice energy, man. Thank you.
Talk into the mic right there. It'll be good.
Nice. Cool.
So how was your experience here aside from being in Houston, right? You train out of Alliance, right?
Yeah.
And how was your experience with Third Coast Grappling?
Was amazing. It's like one bar fighter, so.
An organized bar fight, right?
Yeah, it was. Everything was so different that I did in my career. Like the rules was different, the atmosphere was different, the fighters was different as well. So it was a great experience for me. I fought alone. It's so amazing. So everything was good.
It was good. I mean, you're basically your own corner. Like you came in, you just said, "Hey, I'm here to do business." You nearly popped Cyborg's head off with that loop choke. I was like, "Come on, man!
Christ.
You're just showing up, cashing checks, and taking necks, man. Like, what was going on with that?"
No, I was saying earlier. How tall are you, Nick?
109.
So what is that? What is that?
He's like
in?
6'3",
6'3". Jeez, because like you were like crouching down over here, and Cyborg's here getting ready, and y'all are both still taller than me, and I'm standing up tall like
but
this.
Cyborg is so strong, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks like a monster.
Yeah. He has one big ass body, so it's hard.
Have you ever gone against Cyborg before?
What? No, I never fought against.
So when you were going against Cyborg, did it throw you off? What did you expect? Was it any different than what you thought it was going to be like?
He didn't slap you at least, so that's good.
Yeah, he has one different game. He's old school, so I had a plan because one old school guy liked to pass like with the both knees on the ground, like on the overpassing.
Over under,
so
right?
It's different, yeah. So it was a good experience. I like it. I like to fight against him.
Were
Man,
you thinking about using the loop choke the whole time through?
A lot on my career. I have some highlights just doing loop chokes.
That's his thing, like the loop choke and like the
Yeah.
Della Hiva X. That's like his thing. Against Keenan, right?
Against Keenan 2 times at the final of the match, but I lost the both. Shit, fucking shit.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Zach.
Thanks.
I'm in here, Keenan.
10 advantages, 2 does nothing. Like it was, and you know what? We're in the middle of negotiating that rematch for December, right?
Yeah, sure.
So we're.
It was because he got hurt, right? Keenan got hurt.
Well, Keenan busted his rib against Leandro when they were fighting,
that's
and
Semi-final at Absolute.
yeah, so he had to pull out, but I mean we were still going to go with the rematch. I mean we still had it booked, but Keenan had to step out, and then Professor Upiano hooked me up with Cyborg, and he was like, "Hey, let's do this."
That's a great replacement.
And I was like, "Hey, they've never fought before. I mean it's going to be an absolute. I mean it'll be great. They're both. I mean he's a legend. He's a young up and comer. I mean it was a great match.
And Meregal, you won Worlds first year as black belt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how was that experience? How many matches did you have to go through?
About the first year,
Yes.
man, it was crazy because I fought the Pan Ams. I lost 2 times for Leandro Low, one at semi-final at Absolute, and the second one at the first match at category. So was good for my mindset because I need to put all my heart to train hard, all my heart to get some result to fight 3 months after the Pan Ams and get one amazing result like the world title. So it was great.
Would you say that winning worlds, I mean, of course, just mentally, it just takes you somewhere, and now your game has gone to another level?
Yeah, yeah. So I believe that the mental is the more important thing for you be a world champion, because we have a lot of different game players. So for that you need to have one technical game, so like strong for all the outsides, but your mentally needs to be amazing. Like you never feel fear, for example, for fight against anyone.
That's interesting because we were just talking about like feeling nervous or anxious before a fight, and you fought, way more than any of us here have. So do you still feel that like anxiousness, nervousness? And we're talking about like
for sure.
You funnel it into your warm up, into your moving around. You use that energy.
This is different for one champion. I believe that one champion is one person that can control this kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Like when you are feeling fear, probably one normal person like I want one pit stop. I want to stop to move. This normal happen. But one champion can feel this feeling and start to move better, start to move like one aggressive, like I need to survive, what am I going to do right now?
It's like fight or flight, right?
Yeah, this is the difference about one champion mindset and one normal mindset.
I mean, I'm telling you, and when I said he comes out like a rabid dog, like, can you imagine you're in the last match, all right, you're going against Meregal, and I look, and he's already looking all crazy, like, like I'm like, oh
But,
shit,
man,
I'm in
lay
trouble,
off,
man.
Lay off the caffeine, guy. Like, let's just have a match here. You don't got to like rip my head
I'm
off.
like my forearm.
I didn't sleep, man.
You're just pacing around like a rabid animal.
Are you a pre-workout guy? Do you like to have a lot of caffeine before you compete, or you more like to no caffeine, very little?
No, I really love caffeine before my fight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's good for your mindset. My fight against Cyborg was 1:30 a.m., so impossible fight without caffeine.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Hey, that's when you're up watching Flow Grappling videos. You know what you're doing, man. Like 1:30 is nothing. That's what you're ready for anything. Like it's all good. Shout out Flow Grappling.
Nobody but bar regulars are used to fighting at 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's why I said it was a bar fight.
That's why he said it was like a bar fight. Like he was the sober one at the bar. He was stepping against the big drunk guy, and he had to take him out. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Cyborg looks like the guy at the bar that's like,
Did you touch my wife?
Like,
Were
come
you
here.
looking at my wife?
Come here, boy. Let's take this outside. But no, I mean, the match was great, man. I mean, you came out, and there was some cool little transition. And it's like you just, out of nowhere, like it was like a knockout punch for jiu-jitsu, like a lightning strike, like, pow. It was it. Like, it's like the leg lock guys with the heel hooks. Like, out of nowhere, those guys are kind of like knockout punchers, and then they can just catch it, fight over. That's kind of how I've never seen a loop choke like that. So it was just that, just
Do you expect
boom.
people to give up position when you go for the loop choke? Because I figure you get it a lot and it gets pretty deep, so people try to give up the mount to try to escape. Is it something that you're waiting for?
Yeah, I don't have too many rules about loop choke. I just put my faith to do the movement, because this is one position that I don't have too many tips, I just have some secrets, like just my grips need to be strong and put my fade over that,
Nicholas, would you say it's an instinct move, right? It's
Yeah,
a reaction move, right? It's not a move that I can say, hey, I want
my
to loop choke.
jiu-jitsu is only reaction.
That's
only
it.
Reaction, yeah.
I mean, you see a lot of people, I mean, you can drill and you can do all this, but it's for that. It's for that instinct, right? And so
Yeah.
my question is this. Going against someone who is old school like Cyborg, right? He's going to possibly try to pass on his knees. I mean, did you think about this? Hey, I'm going to put hand in the collar. Hey, because anyone who passes on the knees, you at least want to grab the collar, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did you think about that at all, or were you just like, look, I'm just going to do whatever I'm going to do?
No, I was studying a lot. For fight against Cyborg.
This was late night on Flow Grappling at 1:30.
That's what I'm saying. He was ready. It was the same time he was studying.
Impossible to fight against one legend without studying his game.
No.
I mean, there's so
I'm
much
not
tape.
crazy. I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much tape on those guys, like he can sit back and
Yeah.
basically go through archive footage from his fight with Brendan Schaub to all the way to, like.
Yeah, Brendan Schaub.
I mean, Brendan Schaub was more the culprit here, but if you want to go to bed, watch that fight. That's a good one to watch at 1:30 in the morning. morning just to take a nap.
So Brendan Schaub's going to be on 3
Brendan Schaub ran from Cyborg the whole time.
Find
So-
Brendan Schaub stand up. It's much
so-
better. Let's just say that.
But Brendan Schaub, man, like
Is he
that.
running the whole time also?
If you want to go to sleep,
Yeah, he's on
watch that
stage
match.
selling jokes, running around. It's funny. It's amazing.
Did you see Flo Grappling's video that they put of you?
Yeah.
The high state dude.
Amazing.
Like Reed out there, shout out Reed Deviltown on the Instagram. That dude, he is on
What I
point.
thought was great was
Yeah,
it
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
built up the anticipation. You kind of almost put yourself in your position and like the nervousness and like the quietness and the aloneness.
Yeah, it was the exactly moment that I was
Like,
thinking about.
and then
yeah.
you don't
so
even
alone,
do, he doesn't
right?
even do the walkout, dude. Like I'm like, what? I wanted Meregal to have like a good walkout, like come out, and I look around, I'm like, oh, this fucking guy's coming from the side stage. Like, what's going on here? And you're just walking through people, just ready to like tear somebody's ass apart. Like, I
Are
was
you
like,
leaving, Ricky?
Yeah, I got
Coach Ricky, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Coach
Happy
Ricky.
birthday, Coach Ricky.
I might be back. I just
No, just leave. Just
Jessica,
don't-
take him out. Just
Jessica, keep your man with you. All right.
get your mans.
Nick was just like, who the fuck was that guy hugging me?
It's the birthday boy.
No,
so-
he went-
that was his present. He's like, hey guys.
No, he had sushi with us, and Nicholas was like, hey man, like let's do some sake.
Yeah, I know.
And
My brother was like, look who I have texting me right now. This is Meregal.
What you don't realize is
You
after,
too.
after that lunch, he's like, Ryan,
Hey.
all I want for my birthday is a hug from America.
No, and like we haven't really hit you up yet, but he does want a full body shot before he leaves. So I'm sorry. That was his request, not mine. It's in the contract. I'm sorry it wasn't in Portuguese.
You know
but,
he waited till time to leave to just get him off. He wasn't waiting for
No,
it.
Coach
right?
Ricky, because Ricky literally called his girlfriend and was like, hey, I need you to come up so that I can act like I got to take you somewhere so I can hug Meregali goodbye. All right?
He's gonna be right back. He wants 2 hugs. He's gonna be a 2-hug night. You got this one.
Never gotten a hug from him.
Yeah, never.
Right when he
hates
hugs him, he gets the under. He's like, yeah.
me. No, my brother, every time he hugs, he tries to go for double underhook, so I don't trust him.
Hey, so Meregali, when did you start training jiu-jitsu?
10 years ago.
Okay. How old were you 10 years ago?
I had 16. I started training jiu-jitsu because my brother was training around my home. So, yeah, I have 3 years like black belt. as
Man,
well,
that's
so,
awesome.
Yeah,
And does your brother train still?
yeah, keep training.
So-
he's a brown belt,
Is he an older brother or younger brother?
young brother.
You're still kicking his ass?
Yeah.
So,
Right
wait,
now, yeah, but before my
so,
training was impossible.
so you started after him,
After him, yeah.
but you got your black belt before he did.
Yeah, because this is my life. It's my life. So.
No,
Training for
absolutely.
fighter,
Yeah.
faster.
But he still trains. You guys still train together, I'm assuming, right? I mean, do you help him out?
No, because I'm living in another city. Mario
Okay.
Hayes Academy is on Porto Alegre, and my family lives on Santo Antônio's one city, 1 hour driving from Porto Alegre.
But he still trains.
Yeah, it's still training.
you didn't
yeah.
scare him away from jiu-jitsu.
No.
Are we talking about your brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. You told me yesterday that he doesn't train no more. I loop choked him like 8 times. He quit. That's it. That's enough of that. I've been loop choked, I think, like 4 times. I think 2 of them were from him.
So
and it's a very unpleasant feeling. Your whole arm went
When you
through.
started,
Like-
were you the same size as you are now, or were you a lot
16?
were you a lot smaller than when you were 16?
He's a growing boy.
Hey, I know some fucking 16-year-olds that are like 6'2", 6'3". So
Did you see Roberto Jimenez? God,
Yeah,
He's like
that's a
12. You see
perfect
that guy?
example.
He's like 12 years old.
So I have a question for you.
Nobody allowed to answer the question.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
What question?
I forgot. Like,
What
what's
question?
that?
What
Well,
the-
Professor,
Welcome to the Fifth Stripe Podcast.
we all talk over each other the whole time. It's great.
Okay, so I had my only difference was that I had 20 kilograms less.
but you were still the same height.
Yeah, still the same height.
So you were always tall since not always tall, but since you were
Not
young.
always tall, but I just made 10 centimeters than
Okay.
16. So it's not too much.
So what's next? I mean, after this, you mentioned a possible super fight maybe in July.
Maybe
Are you gonna
in
do it?
July, yeah. I want to fight, but I need first make a business, you know.
You gotta
work on business. We need figure it out about price and that stuff. But my intention is fight at July.
And then that'll be against maybe Herbert Santos, right?
Yeah, maybe Everett Santos.
Man, that guy needs a good loop choke. I tell you what.
That's gonna be a good one. Hey,
Joke would be good.
Hang on one second. You're gonna have Herbert Santos fight for 3GC?
No, he's fighting for a fight to win with Seth.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I mean, Herbert's their champion. So Meregal will go over there, loop choke him, take the belt, and go back to Brazil,
You might
cash
have
some
to-
checks
Both
with chicks.
belts.
Both belts.
Well,
champ,
what if
coming out.
he fakes an injury?
Jam McGregor. Hey.
That's when you give him a yellow card.
So what do you think?
He's like,
of
oh,
getting
my
a belt?
elbow, and then he elbows somebody in the crowd.
What do you think about getting a belt compared to a medal? Is there something about like putting on a belt that is
Get the strap.
Like this, strap season, baby. That's where you want it.
Strap
About
season.
what, for fight?
Yeah, when you fight and you get a belt.
Would you rather get a belt or would you rather get a medal?
You'd rather
For sure, belt for sure.
or a ribbon.
First money and second belt.
I knew you were gonna say that shit. I knew you were gonna say that shit.
First
the money.
for sure.
I knew it. You're like, fuck the medal, fuck the belt, just pay me. That's all I care.
Because I thought the third option was going to be tiaras, right? Tiaras for the winners.
Well, I
Third
mean,
grappling tiaras.
SavageTiaras.com.
Yeah.
Hey, so December 7th, right? If everything goes down as planned, no injuries, nothing mysteriously coming up, you face Keenan twice, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this would be the third time on the big stage, Third Coast Grappling 3. What would you do different?
Well, he's gonna get
Nothing.
You're just gonna keep
Book his flight the
keep
correct
it
way.
instinct. There we go.
This is my style. This is my style. I just like this is my jiu-jitsu is like one Grace philosophy, you know. Just submit.
I mean, you know what I like?
Only submit. For me, if you're not submit someone, it's like I don't win the fight.
So what
you
is
know?
your favorite position to submit somebody from? Where would you like to be? If you had to pick one.
Triangle or take the back? I don't know. Side control. I like it all the positions that I can submit.
A dominant position, right?
Any position that you can
That's
submit
it.
in, it's all good.
Yeah, this that I like a lot.
So my next question is going against somebody like Cyborg is stocky, shorter guys. Other guys have weird body styles, but Keenan similar body style as
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Is that something different for you? Does that create problems? Is it something like, hey man, this is kind of like the Matrix type
It's
shit?
like fighting my mirror image.
Yeah.
My
I
American
did
image.
change my plan for sure because Kenna has won lapel game, so it's so hard to pass, But I did one wrong play at the World Championship. Just for that, I lost my fight. Not was because Kenna was better than me at fighting, because Kenna just don't move, Just didn't move. So yeah,
He has a
Strategy-
system.
He did one strategy. I gave for him 2 points because my plan was submit to bottom to top, So I did one wrong playing, but for the fight to win, I'm gonna keep moving exactly the same way, like all the time, like a killer,
Well, you might want to get your head movement, so just in case Herbert Santos tries to punch you in the
Oh,
face or
shit.
something, you know what I mean? Or maybe Mike Tyson gets some ear guard so he doesn't bite your ear.
You gotta for sure wear your mouthpiece for this one.
Yeah.
If you
Floating
think
like a
about it,
butterfly,
You're,
sting like
you're
a bee.
mostly always on top, right? Whenever you're fighting.
No, he's a guard
No,
guy.
guard.
Yeah, he's De La Riva X.
I
that guy
prefer
is-
pass guard, but I'm a guard player fighting.
But not with like a Keenan.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe Kenan pull guard, I wanna pass his guard. This is my plan. Because of the World Championship, I just tried 2 minutes. The first 30 seconds, I passed his guard, controlling the back, but I didn't put my confidence to submit. I just stay on the back like I'm just finishing him in 30 seconds. It's so easy, But this is my plan for the next fight against Kenan. Keep on top, passing guard. I'm gonna pass for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the last guy to do that was Leandro when he did that
He
at
didn't
the...
sweep me at the World Championship. I pulled back.
He came up.
Yeah. Gave him 2 points to submit. So impossible for him. Submit him, take my back. So I'm self-confident a lot to fight against him.
I mean, I reached out to him because I was like, hey, man, I saw your lapel encyclopedia post online. Let's sell a lot of lapel
Keep
encyclopedias
saying your
together. Let's do
DVDs,
this.
Man. Hey.
I saw somebody posted your quote that you said at the end of the match, like, keep selling your DVDs if it would have been here. In
It was good for his market. I'm giving you money, man.
But it was funny because I saw him post, when I read it, it sounds pretty complimentary.
Like he said, like his Keenan Online profile, you saw it on the Flow Grappling page. You're like, oh, speaking of guys, the lapel encyclopedia is half off just for today. Right under his post where he calls him out.
It was the nicest
That's so
call out
funny.
ever in jiu-jitsu.
There's some good heat behind this one. Like Keenan wants it. I mean, he's told me he wants the match back because he doesn't want to have it. Oh, well, he had 10 advantages. You only did this because he doesn't like those type of victories. He's a fighter, man. Like he doesn't want to have. Oh, well, I just beat a guy by 2 points because I came up on top during a contentious position. Like he wants to actually fight you. He wants to have a real deal. And I think that's what's going to make the heat for the second.
maybe get one side control. If you
It's over.
Yeah, the fight is over for sure. So for that, 11 points is too much for a black belt. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe we put one half of the points is better than like 6, 7. Like one side control and take the back is enough to stop the fight.
Yeah, I mean, with the guys that we had, like, there were some guys that would, I mean, even though the rules were there, they weren't fighting to win. Like, they were just sitting there and they were just like, okay, we're going to do this position. There was like 3 or 4 fights where I was just like scratching my head, like, what's going on here? Yeah. And then, like, it was just, I mean, most of the fights were exciting, they were good, but there were guys that were really fighting at sometimes not to lose, and they get to the overtime and they're like, and it's like buchecha in the last 30 seconds. Like, it's like crazy, bah, and then you get excitement at the end.
I know.
You know, but I don't know. I think the overtime is a good, like,
Yeah, it's
like,
a good deal, yeah.
because people are like, well, if I don't submit, I got to go do this, and anything can happen.
Yeah. But if you watch again all the finals at the World Championship, you're gonna see that all the fighters, maybe 90%, the guys just achieve 4 points, 6 points on the maximum.
Yeah,
Or 0-0, one advantage.
I believe that we just had 2 fights that we got submit. My final and the Musumeci final.
Oh, with
Right, yeah.
Musumeci, when he
Yeah.
What do you think about
What do
that?
you have-
What do you think about the Bruno Malfacini and Mikey Musumeci? Like, after Mikey beat him, we went to shake his hand. Bruno was like, didn't even like. What do you think about that?
This guys has one long history. Musumeci was
Bruno has long history of
With Musumeci.
like this?
He used to coach him. He used to coach him.
Yeah. Bruno was his coach, so I don't know what's happened during the fight or what's happened before the competition.
You know what it is? You're like a 10-time black belt world champion, and you lose, right? And so
Man,
to your
it's
student,
so fucking
right?
hard, man. So fucking
It's
hard.
difficult, right?
Yeah. I believe that everybody needs respect Bruno Malfacini.
No,
He's a
absolutely.
legend.
His attitude
He's a
was a
legend.
little bit confused, but because we don't have what was happened to Bruno Malfacini did it, you know. But everybody needs respect him.
No, absolutely.
He's one legend, 10 world titles.
It's gotta
Just
be
Roger
hard.
Grace,
It's gotta be hard to just lose like that at the last second. Get those points scored on you.
I mean, he submitted him. I mean, he didn't just score points on the guy. He tapped him out.
Well, going into the Musumeci and Bruno, I think there was a little disrespect on both ends, right? Bruno is, he's a veteran of the sport. Musumeci is sort of a new school. He's been training since he's been like 10 years old, right? Like, Musumeci was acting kind of a little weird. He was kind of like hitting him and then like going like this, like, and then when so I can see frustration on both ends, right?
It was weird.
And I kind of felt like
It was
Bruno got
weird.
kind of caught off guard, like, are you going to shake? No. And then that's his just reaction, like when you don't know what to do, right? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. With the uptick with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it was a lot of the Brazilians that dominated for years in the tournaments. You couldn't go to a world championship without maybe one American, maybe two, but you see a rise of Americans in Jiu-Jitsu. What do you think about that?
I really like. It's so important for our sport. So important because just Brazilian guys, they are working well. We are improving the game from Jiu-Jitsu, but American guys working better when we are talking about business, when we are talking about structure, when we are talking about how we can bring money for our sport,
Mm-hmm.
We need some big brands, we need some big businessmen inside our game to improve our world, I believe.
Yeah, and when we started this deal, we're not any big time guys. We don't have $1 million backers or anything. We started this thing kind of like grassroots, and it's kind of just taken on its thing. But some of these organizations, man, they're propped up by some like you said, the big businessmen that are trying to do things. But I think when that much money gets involved, and it's like jiu-jitsu is such a rooted like sport, like it's so many traditions and things how they've always done, like people are so used to doing it this way, and then you come in and you do something different, people are like, whoa, wait a minute, like how are you guys, why are you guys trying to change what we're doing? But at the end of the day, like with us, we're just trying to make everybody money. We want this to be the UFC for grappling. Like we want to be out there, we want to be in arenas, we want people, crazy crowds, we want to make everybody money and make it exciting. Because, the traditional, if you take somebody that's never trained jiu-jitsu, right, to a world championship, they're like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? Like, you take them to our show, they're going to party, listen to some good music, drink some beer, watch some good fights, and go home happy. And people don't even train can enjoy that. But that's kind of where I think we push it through, that we're trying to do on our edge.
And
But-
sort of like he was saying,
Exactly,
it's sort of like a club, like a bar. You know, you can still hang out, try to pick up the girls you need to pick up, and watch a good show.
Yep.
There you go. What else we got?
You need some more water or what? You good?
No.
You drank that whole bottle like so fast. You come from
Did you just
come
go
from
for
the,
a run before this? Were
Do you
at
come from
the
the
gym?
Do you come from the Serengeti before you got here? What's going
I
on?
use smoke, sorry.
No, but it was great, man. I mean, having you headline our card, and then Keenan headlined our first card, the Third Coast Grappling 1 against Tex Johnson. And man, like Tex he's tough, man. But I think what threw Tex off is like the venue is kind of smaller. He came in and walked up the stairs to go on stage and jumped and like gave himself a stinger.
Dude, I saw that. That was crazy.
He hit his head on the ceiling
He
right
like
before he
jumped
fought.
up and like.
He
Where
comes
is
up on
that?
top of the steps and then jumps.
He goes,
but the ceiling's right here.
Crushed his head.
Crushes his neck. You can see him.
Oh,
like,
fuck.
walking. And then when we're at Waffle House with him that night, I asked him about it. I was like,
Oh.
House, because
Hey.
hey, I go, it looked like you crushed your neck. And he goes, oh, yeah, it still hurts.
So like, he gave himself a stinger before he fights Keenan, and then Keenan just was like puts 40-something points on him right after that, like just nonstop, just point. And I was like, man, give the guy a break. He just broke his neck. You know what I mean? Like,
But we talked about this before. With him getting 43 points on him, that means he couldn't control Tex. He couldn't because otherwise Tex kept on getting out of the positions to where he could get another dominant position on him. But if you can't control him, if you can control him, you could stop him and submit him, or just leave him in one position and he can't do anything.
well, I've got a little secret that I was told by Keenan after that match. He kind of wanted that to be kind of an expose because he used a lot of what we were doing with our event. What we were able to get him to finish the lapel encyclopedia. So like he was using a lot of the text footage. He immediately uploaded it, did a voiceover, talked about how a worm guard worked in this position, and he basically put on a lapel guard expose against Tex to use it in marketing. I mean, that's basically what he did. I mean, yeah, control, points, whatever, but I mean, what I was told is that he was just trying to work through a lot of his setups and positions for the lapel guard.
Which there was a lot of.
There was a lot of transitions to the lapel guard.
Yeah.
But why you gotta watch us? Why you gotta watch us watching?
on Instagram. What?
Why are you watching us watching you? What's going on here?
The Instagram stories.
Instagram.
Gotta put that on the Instagram. I mean, if
on the gram, do it for the gram, Nicholas.
if it's not on the gram, then why are we even here?
One second, let me work, man.
No, but so next is fight to win. Herberth versus
Maybe. I don't know. I need.
You gotta talk to Seth. Talk to your boy.
Yeah.
That's not me. That's y'all. I'm doing my own business, but I mean,
You be his agent.
no, I'm good. No, they can be my agent.
We can invite Ebert for the July. Just maybe one event with one or only fight.
I'll have you and him. We'll do like a really bar fight. I'll give you like $5,000, and I'll put it in like a duffel bag in the middle of the mat.
2 shots of sake, right?
No, it's gotta be hung up.
Like
There's
Money in the
gotta be a
Bank.
ladder.
Money in the Bank. Ladder
Yeah, Money in the
match.
Bank. Ladder match.
The ladder match.
Ladder match.
Hey, a big wad of cash at the end of the
Yeah,
fucking
just a
room.
big old rope with a wad of cash, ladders.
You could just get a pinata. Just let him just drop money everywhere.
Put them in my
It'd be good.
garage. But yeah, I mean, are we going on the gram? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Y'all all going on the ground.
You see how he secretly does it? Like, give me the heads up. I'm just kidding.
Hey, do another one. Do a good one. Let's get a good one, Nicholas. You're over there getting like half.
A good picture of you?
Not of me, preferably.
You don't have
I told
a
him.
good
I told
angle.
him he's not allowed to take
You don't
pictures
have a
with me.
good angle.
He's not allowed to take pictures of me. I told him. I was like, "You're too pretty. You're too handsome. I don't need you taking pictures with me. You make me look uglier than normal. So just."
Took a picture with Brian Cushing.
It made me look pretty bad too. I take pictures of Isai. I mean, it's just like, man, I can't. Professor Allen, he's a little
Brian
shorter,
Cushing is
but
fucking huge.
I mean, these little mini models over here, man. I don't know what to do.
So Brian Cushing and Syrian Foster were at that thing too.
Hey, Ryan. You know one thing I'm kind of interested. I say we have like a celebrity aside from we have the Saved by the Bell. Get that Spencer Pratt on here.
Spencer Pratt's cool, man. I mean, he's up in Dallas. He trains. Well, he's at Octagon, right? Is that where he trains?
No, he's
Octagon MMA.
No, he's in GB.
Pete Spratt is not.
GB Northridge. No,
Pete Spratt is not at GB Northridge.
I believe he's a GB.
No, I've never seen or heard of Pete Spratt being at GB Northridge in my life. Pete Spratt's a Texas guy. He's
No,
out
not
here.
Pete Spratt.
No.
Zane Spruce.
Spencer Pratt.
The guy.
Spencer. I thought you said Pete Spratt.
That's the guy from Tough One.
Oh no,
right?
Edwin told me, he's like, hey, Spencer, you know, he's down. He said Pete Spratt.
No, he said Spencer.
He said Pete Spratt.
How drunk
No,
are you?
No, I'm not
right
even
now?
drunk. I've had a beer and a half.
I'll
So
hold it
keep
for you.
drinking.
Sip it.
When we replay this and I show it, you're going to owe me $100. And I'm
All
just
right,
going to
let's
say
do it.
Okay, I'm down with that.
I'll share with whoever here wants.
Actually, you know what's going to happen? Nicholas is going to triangle you in the parking lot for that one.
No, he's not.
We're gonna
If he
make it
gets it
happen.
wrong, how many people get free that are listeners that comment get a free?
If I'm right, which I am right, and Professor Allen did not say Pete Spratt.
I heard Spencer Pratt.
No, but you know what, Zach? Look at your ears. Hold on. No, look at Zach's ears. They're cauliflower and they're large. Look, no, but
I got to give it to him. There's a 30% chance you got it wrong, right?
So
30.
So, but I am right. But you know what?
But you're
If
right.
I'm wrong, and Professor Allen is right, I will donate 10 tickets to First Come First Serve to 3CG3.
All right, what about if I win?
Huh? What if you win? I just said that.
I just get the 10 tickets and I give them to him.
No, I just said if I'm wrong and you're right, that's what
Okay,
I'll do.
okay.
But
If
if
you
you're
win,
wrong
we get your
and
hair
I'm
product
right, you know what you're
sponsor.
doing? You have to do a podcast or a broadcast without your sunglasses, you weird creep. With all that
And a
stuff.
T-shirt.
And you can't fix your hair that way.
All right, I won't do my hair. No
Actually,
sunglasses.
you got to shave your head, is what we're gonna do.
No, it's too much.
Okay, so
Monk
what about
mode.
Spencer Pratt?
Spencer Pratt, he trains with Edwin and Home Alone, all those guys out there. And I've been pushing on Edwin. I'm like, dude, let's get him out here. Let's do something. I'm going to push as hard as I can to get Spencer on 3CG3.
Hey, if they
I
need
like-
someone,
as hard as I can.
if they
I
need
like-
someone,
Yeah.
I liked Edwin's fight.
I'm going to put him against...
Edwin Gianni, that was a solid fight.
Edwin
man.
was really like, he looked like he was bored like during the match. Like he was just kind of like,
Well, I mean, they're both extremely
Yeah, he just
dangerous.
looks real-
They're both really dangerous guys, right? So it's like two heavyweight boxers, right? They don't want to get that.
Well,
that landed on them.
Gianni came up like he came to 175. He fights at 145. So he came at 130. He put 30. I mean, he weighed in at 158. Edwin was like 175 on the nose. So Gianni came out there like ready to. He's
God
like your
damn
size
it.
fighting Edwin.
Yeah,
So I mean, I know you'll go in there and knock some ankles off, but still.
yeah, I'm down.
man, Edwin was looking a little big too. I thought Johnny was a little bigger. I mean, at times you see pictures, he looks really big. At times he looks small. I mean,
Thanks, guys. I'm gonna let Zachary jump in. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy the show.
Hey, why don't you watch the replay so we can get those 10 tickets?
Oh shit, Ryan, the producer.
I gotta get up.
Hang on a second.
Bam, 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 bam.
How do we switch this? Berto broke the camera. It's frozen.
Yeah,
I didn't break
it's slow.
shit.
I'd just leave it on one of the cameras.
There's one.
So
We need better
There's gonna
cameras.
be all
So
kinds
if
of
we can get
drastic-
maybe we need to start a GoFundMe for
Yeah,
all of our
hey,
watchers
hey, how about-
to like donate.
How about
so
our
we can buy a
sponsors
camera.
give us some fucking money?
Yeah,
How
we
about
need
that?
we need to buy some actual legit cameras now that we
Yeah.
have an audience, and
We need some banners.
we'll
need
do a
some
gun
swag.
a GoFundMe.
Hey, I'm
we,
gonna
we
get-
do have an office now.
I'm
though.
gonna get a
That's
portrait of my dog as a admiral in the military, and that is going
Painted,
in-
right? Canvas?
Painted canvas.
Nice.
Yes, absolutely. That's going in the 3CG office.
There we go. All right.
Absolutely.
With the kegerator, right?
Absolutely. I'm ready to go, man. I gotta,
let's do
look,
it.
It's at my mom's house. It's at my mom's house. Let's
Well,
go
can
fucking
you tell
pick
your
it up.
mom to bring it over? Or?
she needs
My
to
mom does
stop
not-
drinking that
my mom
shit.
doesn't
She
have
needs to
a
stop
dog.
drinking that shit.
Hey, let's leave Professor Berto's mom out of this, man.
Who's just saying.
Who's been to Berto's house here? Nobody?
Ricky.
Nobody?
Ricky
You
has.
should see the beer to water ratio. How horrible it is.
Yeah.
It'll be like they have a kegerator, right? They
Yeah.
have a bunch of six packs everywhere, and then you still can't find water.
Hey, it comes from the faucet.
It's not the place for
It comes from
hydration,
the
bro.
faucet.
He's like, turn on the shower, just the hot water. The cold one doesn't work.
Yeah. The hot water is more filtered too, so like, yeah, it's better for you.
He's like, I'm thirsty. He's like, yeah,
just
go
let it
turn on the
cool
shower.
off.
Yeah, you're
Just let it
good.
cool off.
Oh shit.
No, I'm down. I got the kegerator, the dual
So,
keg kegerator. I need to take it to Saloon Door because they said they were going to give me some.
Yeah,
new
they're going to
lines.
run the lines.
Shout out to our
Run-
sponsor,
run
Saloon
new-
Door.
Yes, shout out to our sponsor.
Speaking
Saloon
of,
Door.
how many people do you think got pregnant from drinking these
Oh my
13%
God! So,
alcohol
ladies and gentlemen,
that were
if you
given
did-
away?
If you did not know that the VIP section of
Which a lot of people didn't.
Third
All the
Coast Grappling-
fighters knew.
All the fighters knew.
They
Oh,
were
the
like,
fighters knew.
I'm ready to go to
So,
VIP lounge.
If you didn't know, the two things that were being served was the double dock. And was it ridiculous?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Okay, so it was
Yeah.
ridiculous, right?
Those were
So-
given away.
So those were given away. The ridiculous is, if I'm not mistaken,
12%.
11%, 12%.
Yeah.
And the
Which
double
nobody
dock,
read.
The double dock is no, it's labeled as 7.2. It is actually something like 9.5.
So can I
or something.
sue if like I can?
No, because you're
Crash,
no,
you know?
no.
Alan, if that was the case, you would be suing O'Doul's, bro.
So
Yeah,
my
dude.
wife had
He'd be
two.
suing Zima.
My wife had two of those ridiculous AFs, and at like halftime at the halftime she was like they were playing Fetty Wap and she was my trap queen.
Oh shit!
She was dancing. She was having the best time. By the halfway through the main event, she was done for the night. And so I was like the friends that she was with were like pregnant, or the wife was pregnant. So they're like, we got to go. It's getting
Thankfully
late.
not the husband.
But
good thing it wasn't the
so
husband.
Jackie was left at this table, and I was like, hey, do you want to come in the back with me and you can chill? And she's like, yeah. So I take her in the back into the production
totally,
room where
yeah.
I'm like paying everybody out, and she is like half asleep, drunk. She's got brown stains on her shirt because of the ridiculous AF. She's gonna hate me telling the story.
Oh, she threw up.
No, she didn't. She did not throw
Oh,
up.
she spilled on herself.
But no. Yeah, she spilled a little bit on
got
herself.
spilled on her.
But it was so funny because I would like fighters would end their match. I would bring them into this small confined room. There's this half drunk, passed out woman in the corner.
Like, hi, would you like to meet my wife?
And yeah, no, I didn't even say it. I just forget about her. Here's what we pay you.
You're like she got paid already. She got paid already.
And
These motherfuckers didn't tell me this beer was like this. You know, brown stains.
Dude, I had to
half
quick
the
Uber my wife home.
No, half the fighters were like, thank you so much. I had a great time. Thank you too, I guess. I don't know who you are, but no. But one time, so
It's like Weekend at Bernie's type shit.
yeah, it was. So I was like, okay, I can leave her in the room. It's fine. She's basically passed out. So I leave and I come back, and she's gone.
Oh no!
And I go,
You lost your wife.
oh, where'd she go? And so I call her, no answer, right? And I run up to the front where all the fighters
This
are
is
kind of
such a good story already.
And I'm like, Lisa, have you seen my wife? And she's like, no. And so the only other way out is the back room, the very back room where they're warming up.
Yeah.
And so I go back there and I go, have you guys seen like a kind of drunk woman walking around here? And they're like, no. So I'm like, my wife has been kidnapped. Where's Professor Allen? I need to.
God damn it, missing people.
First thing I'm gonna be like, yo, you got life insurance?
So I go to the bathroom and I wait for a woman to come up and I go, hey, can you just like call out? I'm not gonna say my wife's name on it, but can you call out this lady's name? Zakina. Can you call Zakina? Just to see if she's in there. And she goes in. She comes out. She's like, nope. I'm like, where did she go? So I'm like, she didn't get past this area. She didn't get past this. I'm like baffled. And I'm calling her. She didn't pick up. So then I'm just like, well, I still got my job to do. So I'm just going to, I'm like, I hope that.
I'm gonna do my job.
I'm just going to hope she
You're
did
gonna
it.
take your chances. Chances are she's somewhere in here.
Yeah.
Chances are
I'ma do
she's
my-
buried in Professor Allen's backyard.
Yeah,
but-
Zach took the Alan zombie apocalypse approach and was just like,
She's done.
yeah. I got it.
Hold on, we gotta ask this guy something. Okay, go ahead.
So eventually she calls me. She goes, I'm next to the bathroom. She was at a different bathroom. And I'm standing next to a trash can, and I didn't throw up, is what she said. So I went and found her. I pulled her back in. I told her to stay. She eventually sobered up, but it was... She kept telling me to tell the saloon door guy to fuck you.
Oh, shit.
so
Austin,
shout out to Austin.
Austin, fuck
She's
you.
like, where is he? I know he's here. I want to
Fuck
tell
you,
him,
Austin.
fuck you. Why are you having 13% alcohol beers?
I had to call an Uber immediately after the event to send my wife back to the hotel. I was like, hey, so you should go chill.
So that's why everyone was drunk there, is because these two beers right
But it
here.
was planned. It was planned to get people liquor.
I'm
Strategic.
Sure, I'm sure it
I'm
was.
telling you, this is
I'm sure it was.
Or chestnut
Which we missed the after party.
He'll tell you.
Did y'all hear any after party
There
stories?
was no fucking after party because we got out at 1:30.
Yeah, there's 30-minute after
There was
party.
an after party for those who went over there.
We did go over there.
We were the workers.
Let's go take 8 shots of tequila.
I drank 2 beers and then headed to Mize to have some pho.
Mize is where it's at, dude.
This is
Mize stays open till 4, so shout out to Mize downtown if you guys want to shoot us a complimentary bowl of
I
pho.
think some of the fighters that ended early went over there because the fight, they could.
Nice. Amazing.
All right, let's well, I'm not
Yeah, shut up, Ryan.
You want to get on? Come on.
I want to ask Mr. Meregal a question. So being a jiu-jitsu superstar, what's the ladies like, man? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
For a minute.
Come on, let's hear it.
I've heard Felipe side.
He's like usually blue belts.
And that's blue belts with a capital bleed.
Did you say blue belts?
Yeah, I mean that's
You
what
said blue belts.
he's like blue. He's like usually they're blue belchies.
All right. Nick, I'm sorry Alan is so drunk,
Hey, we're not
but
going to insinuate that a black belt professor is preying on poor blue belts.
Not his.
We don't see color. We don't see color on
we
the
don't
fifth
see
stripe.
color on the 5th stripe.
Yeah, we don't see color on the fifth
hey,
stripe.
like you're traveling
Everybody's a
around,
white belt.
You're doing tournaments. What do you do? Are you like a Tinder guy? Are you on the Instagram? Are you like, chick sliding in your DM?
Basically, how can the ladies find the Meregali?
Oh, yeah, that's the best question.
The
If
Meregali.
my wife texted me right now and was like, "Who's that dude? How do I get to know him? What should I tell her?" Because
the Meregali.
the Meregali.
Meregali. That's
right.
going to be it. Just Meregali. That's it. That's all it's going to be.
Your fighter nickname should be so it's Nicholas the Meregali.
I
think it'd be amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Hey, just
I like it. I like it.
PayPal me $5. We'll call it even.
I thought you were Italian. Like when I first saw your name, I was like, man, this guy's Italian. Then you started speaking Portuguese. I was like, hold the fuck on. Like, what's going on?
I know,
here?
he threw us for a loop
Italian
choke.
speaking Portuguese. What's the real story here?
No, so that's interesting because a lot of Brazilian people have deep European influences. So, do you know anything
Yeah,
about?
look at
about,
Giselle.
You're like Meregali. Is it
Italian.
Is it Italian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Italian.
So do you have any family members that you know of that are
No,
like?
no. Our family is Brazilian right now, but my grandfather was Italian.
Okay, so that's not too many generations off.
Yeah.
He was from Italy, or his parents were from Italy.
He's like the number 4.
He's like second
4,
generation.
6, 7. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't have more anything
Like I go
from
to Chuck E. Cheese,
Italian.
I get the
He's
margarita.
like he goes to Angelo's Pizza. He really likes the number 2 combo.
That's it. That's all it's
all
on.
sub in this motherfucker.
Actually, he's out of Queens, New York.
Hey, how you doing?
So what did you think of Texas? Your first time in Texas?
Yeah, first time.
So what did you think? It's hot as fuck, right?
Humid as fuck.
Brazil's hot as fuck too. So.
But it's not humid.
Not right now. Not right now. There's
Yeah, it's actually cool today.
cold. Yeah, cold. A lot.
So
But-
this is a mild day for us today.
So that's why all the Brazilians go to the States in Christmas, December time.
Yeah.
And then all the Brazilians stay in Brazil during, that time. During
Yeah,
our
yeah,
winter time. Makes sense.
Yeah, the same. Same.
Who you?
Sorry,
Is that your son?
Yeah, we were keeping track.
Did
of
you
the
just tell him
youngins.
to like home alone this whole building? Like start setting up traps?
No,
and-
he's our security. He's a great white belt now, so we got to make sure.
What do you think is keeping the sport from really breaking through to where it needs to be? Well, like, what's keeping jiu-jitsu or grappling from being a UFC or being a globally recognized brand that people can enjoy and watch and be entertained? What do you think's stopping it? You think it's the rules? You think it's the people running the organizations? You think it's just an old school mindset? People aren't willing to change? I mean, what do you think?
I believe there is one global mindset about everything. It's not about just rules, not about just how to play jiu-jitsu, but about all stuff. Like you need improving all the sides to get garden more people, like get someone good brand, like Nike, Red Bull. I don't know what kind of brand you believe that is big, but
Nike's a huge brand.
yeah. But forget some big brand and get more popular. We need improving all sides, like how better you can do everything. It's not just about play jiu-jitsu, because this is one small thing at life. Because we just can fight by 10 years, I believe.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, like we talked about it briefly. You said that a lot of people are just really like dumb with the business. Like they're just so, well, this guy, he's going to pay me $1,000 American dollars. So that's like 4,000 Brazilian dollars.
Yeah,
And they
so
allow
shit,
themselves
so
to be
fucking
under,
shit.
you know, they allow themselves to be undercut because they're not very business savvy. So I think that's an issue too, is that a lot of these guys, great fighters, great jiu-jitsu guys, not good business guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think
It's
of
a
the
problem, it's a
history.
problem.
Think of the history of combat sports and boxing. How many fighters got screwed out of
Yeah.
like a
Look
lot
at
of
Metal
money?
Horse. I mean, Howard Gracie, I mean, he's got that money still.
But you'd also think of like Muay Thai should be more famous than just regular boxing because it's more exciting, right?
Yeah, it's more exciting and make almost the same money. Than
Right.
boxing.
Plus, it's real fighting.
But Lion Fights is a great Muay Thai organization, and they've got good
And
guys.
Glory.
The Glory was great too. I mean, like I loved K1 back in the day, watching like
Yeah.
like all those big guys, Badr Hari, all those guys, coming out.
Overeem.
Yeah, Overeem was great.
That's
Overeem
initial stuff.
And then it had, I loved K1, and then that went under because of corruption and all the other stuff. But those brands were international brands. In the U.S., they were just breaking in.
But Muay Thai is pretty popular in Brazil too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just Thailand. I think that's what always surprised me is how popular it is. In
Yeah,
Brazil.
I was in Phuket in March, and the gym I was at, it was literally all Brazilians.
Yeah.
It was
AKA Thai.
Well, I think it's that.
Phuket Fight Club.
Well, I think it's that
Where's
fighting
Phuket Fight
mentality.
It's in Phuket, Thailand. It's
Yeah.
I kind of have a follow-up question. We're talking about popular jiu-jitsu. We've discussed this in the past. What do you think about, like you said, expanding it out and branching to new people? What do you think about jiu-jitsu becoming an Olympic sport? And what's your take on that?
I don't believe that is the best step to do because all the Olympic sports needs keep all the plan in own rules,
Basically, the Olympics fuck it up.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
boxing.
IOC, yeah.
The boxing marketing is so different about Olympic and about professional.
Thank you.
You know.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying this the whole time. People are like, "Oh well, IBJJF and this is the purest and this is that and this and that." Look, there's the Olympics for boxing, and then there's actual people prize fighting, people trying to make a living.
Yeah.
And that's how it needs to be for grappling. There needs to be cool, IBJJF, Abu Dhabi, ADCC. These are prestigious titles. But at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't know what jiu-jitsu is or what they're watching, they're gonna be bored to tears watching that shit.
No, it doesn't sense fight one event without payment.
No.
You know.
Absolutely.
So like if
Doesn't
we go
sense.
like our event, like we're not trying to be some traditional prestigious title. We're trying to put on badass fights, exciting fights, and make people of all walks of life enjoy it. So I mean, I think that you have to take a different approach to it. And I think with jiu-jitsu, it's still kind of people are like, oh, the world championship and the no-gi worlds and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's great. Those titles are very prestigious and they should be very heavy. But we don't. I mean, we care about them, but we're trying to do.
But you can
something
live.
different.
They can both live in the same.
Yeah, it's necessary you do, for example, have one world title like a BJJF or ADCC if you wanna to be one no-gi fighter, but we can't change it. We can change the game.
Mhm. That's what we're trying to do.
So,
change the game.
so I know you got the match December 7th, and then we got April no gi, right, with Gordon, and then. But what's your ultimate goal, right? So you already did world champion. I know you're still young. You got many years to go. Is it eventually owning a gym, or are you not interested? Are you planning on doing something else? What is your goal?
My goal is open some business and make a lot of money.
Just tell them you.
And then continue the Tinder, continue the whole.
Yeah.
Hey,
More than I'm
you don't know
jiu-jitsu.
nobody. Get rich and act like you don't know anybody. Just get so rich and be like, I don't know you. You're my mom. You're my uncle, but I don't know you because I'm rich and I don't need none of you motherfuckers. That's how you gotta get.
I'm the best rich.
Man, but this was great.
Well, I think you're on your way too because you've slowly built a brand where people are excited to see you fight,
Hey,
right?
If you see great athletes like, I know that jiu-jitsu is one small like percentual than Michael Jordan, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, but I'm an athlete. I can step on my plans, like I can garner money, I can earn a lot of money and then put in some business and make more money than I have right now. So this is a plan that one athlete needs to be, not just I need to open one academy someplace in USA or someplace in Australia, I don't know where, Europe. So it's not a wrong plan, but you can dream more than just one academy.
so you're saying basically a lot of people are shorting themselves. Like that's a dream, and they're
This
not
is
going to
not
go any
normal
more
way.
any
Yeah,
more
this
than
is not
this.
normal way.
They're putting
I
a
just-
ceiling on their
why I
potential.
I just know about jiu-jitsu, so I want to open one academy. Man, it's nice. It's so nice.
Open 100 academies. Do that.
Yeah, like Carlinhos Grace or Fabio
Come on,
Gurgel.
man. I would say
But
that's
it's a
ridiculous.
nice plan. I'm not saying that like so disappear or something like. But you can build some legacy outside jiu-jitsu, not just fighting, just controlling one academy, you know.
And I'm glad you said that, because a lot of the guys in grappling, you know, their life is that, and they're like, I want to own I want to be a great coach, or I want to own my academy, and it ends right there, right? It ends right there, and it's like you say, life is a lot more than grappling, right? You have to live life after competition, or you have to live and you have a family to support, or whatever the hell you want.
For have one academy, until this day, you need learn about business. It's true. For example, Romulo Barral has, I don't know how many academies he has, but
All of California.
He's about to open up a brand new one.
He just opened today. Today was open.
You need to learn about business to improve your self business, your all business. So this is a good plan, but I don't like too much.
I mean, you need to have multiple revenue streams, right? You need to be making money off of you competing. You need to make money off of your videos. You need to make money off of your sponsors. You need to make money off of your academy. So, like, this is something that's important in the growth of your own personal business, which is something that a lot of people will get short-sighted on. You know, like, if you have one academy, you should be looking to open your second academy, right? You should be always looking to expand. And since you have such a great name, I mean, you have so many markets available to you that you can.
But also, like, what's great in the super fight game is competition, and if we inspire another promotion to put on, another badass event, that's not a competition to us unless they're competing on the same day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So all it does,
makes the sport better.
Yeah, all it does is create more opportunities for each of these fighters where they can fight a super fight every weekend and make really good money. Then that's great. And all it takes is somebody thinking outside the box and putting on a cool event where somebody's like, you know what, I got experience in that too, and they live in the Midwest, and then they put on a badass show in the Midwest called Midwest Grappling Promotion or whatever it is. But there literally could be in every state a huge grappling event every weekend. And they're not even competing with each other because there's enough athletes to go around to spread that money too.
If the athlete, and it's not really an issue, but if an athlete, we did it with Tex because he stepped in last night, but I do not want somebody that's fighting for us and we're paying them thousands of dollars fighting for another promotion the weekend before our event, because it's not good. It's not good business. Contract. You got to have a contract. There's got to be marketing, because if they're focusing on two events in the same time frame, they're not giving your event the exact marketing.
It diminishes the product, right? You don't get watered down. Yeah, it gets watered down. You don't get the time to. You have to prepare for two fights back to back, which naturally, if you fight two fights back to back, you will have to suffer some kind of a physical toll.
Well, like the Tack,
right?
it's like Tack it. Like he was like, man, I'm fighting for you, but I'm doing the Midwest finishers. I'm not going to promote it. This is my focus. I'm going to go out there and win this tournament. I respect that. But there's like for instance, there's some other organizations now paying guys not to fight. And like I was approached multiple times about it. And I was like, I'm not paying a deposit on a fighter.
Not to fight?
They're paying them not to fight for other promotions. Only
Basically,
for them.
you're tied. Your contract. Yeah, you're contracted to one.
They're looking
promotion.
at other promotions to buy out their contract, saying, "Hey, I if I was to fight for yours, I would need to pay them this amount of money. So can you pay this amount of money so I can?"
Sort of what like Meta Morris was trying to do a little bit, right?
Well, like they're paying. Well, Metas Morris didn't pay their bills. Thurko's Grappling, we always pay our bills. But that's
Meta Morris never paid their bills. Yeah.
So
they paid one,
but what we wanted to do with guys is like, hey, you're going to come in, you're going to be a partner in our event. Like I always told Nicholas here, like I was like, hey man, we're going to partner on this. We'll make it big together. Like that's what we want to do. We don't want guys that just come in, collect a paycheck, and go home. If you're not promoting your fight, if you're not marketing yourself, we have no use for you. All right, we talked about that. Like if you're not marketing yourself as an athlete, how do you expect to get paid the way you want to get paid if you do not add any extra value to the promotion you're fighting for, right?
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Well, it's even, you see it in the UFC now too, is that the UFC is not promoting, it doesn't seem like to me, being a customer, a lot of fights.
It's Dana White.
And they don't need to now that they're behind the ESPN paywall. Is they're getting the same thing from ESPN no matter what, right? And ESPN's now getting the bonus, so they're looking to Sports Center and other avenues to promote fighters. But if you're not watching Sports Center, then you're not seeing. I barely even see anything on the Instagram or anything now.
I don't know who's fighting.
Who's fighting?
And I'm
Yeah.
a pro fighter.
Right, exactly, and that's because they don't need to anymore. So now it's up to the fighters to be their own promoters, and everybody's their own PR, and everyone has the ability now with social media to be the biggest star in their own world. But for some people, and it works for some people actually just to rely on talent, right? If you're good enough talent, you don't have to promote anything. People just want to see that talent.
Well,
that's not even true either.
That's also
Like,
passive. Well, some of that is the advent of social media, right? Like if you can just be self-promoted and you have the star power to drive yourself, you don't really fucking need another promotion to really push your own stuff.
But at the end of the day, jiu-jitsu is an individual sport, right? But if you're not, you can't go out and make your own promotion, own fights and all that. You need the promoter, you need the organization. But a lot of these organizations, they have so many fighters and they have so many different stuff that's pulling them in different ways that they're not really getting into it. They're not really engaging the fighters and saying, hey, be a part of this event. Our success is your success. Get in here and let's.
There's some promotions here in Houston and here in Texas that are they're just full of shit, man. They're getting people to fight for them, not paying them dick.
Well, no, they're not paying them nothing unless they cover their guaranteed pay. If you don't make a guaranteed pay, then you don't get paid. You don't get ticket commission. That's
such bullshit.
One of the things that motivated us to start this was going to some of these pro events, and these guys are, they're draw after draw after draw after draw, and the reason there's so many draws is so they don't have to pay the competitors because they only pay them if they win. So they're hurting the sport more than they're growing it. Because if you're thinking about your pockets first and the sport second, you're wrong if you're in this game. Yeah. If you want to grow the sport first and you're thinking outside the box, you're doing things, the money will come.
Yeah, exactly. The profit will come because you're benefiting the sport.
Because you're engaging people that normally would never watch jiu-jitsu. That's our approach. We want to be there and engage people that have never done jiu-jitsu before and bring them into the sport.
How many high-level guys have hit you guys up since they saw the show and stuff like that?
I've had nonstop, like Cabrinha. Legends of the sport hitting us up wanting to fight for us. Yeah. Kennedy and Cabrinha. Everybody in the sport wants to fight for us now.
Yeah, how many of these promoters that have 10, 15 kid fights on their pro events have fucking pro fighters hit them up?
But that's,
zero.
What do you think about kids fighting on pro events? What do you think about that?
I want to see a kid fight an adult.
For the third course grappling?
No, just in general. What do you think?
What do you think about that? When they have pro jiu-jitsu cards, but it starts off with
He's never fought on one of those.
He's like, what is that?
Yeah, he's like, what does that even happen?
It's hard to keep fighting for years and years into the adult division,
But
so
they have
you fought as a teen all the way up through the ranks, right?
No,
he started at 16.
At 16.
No,
I started fighting 18. 18 was my first.
18 was your first
tournament.
tournament.
My first tournament, yeah.
Well, some promotions have little kid fights, 7, 8, 9-year-olds start off
and this is coming from a kid's coach.
He's a kid's coach.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I would never. I wouldn't want my kids fighting on those either.
Right, it's
hard to keep the focus for years and years and years because when you are a children, you need to play. Play on the ground.
So
it's not.
No, like you were saying. So somebody came up to me the other day and were like, "Hey, there's a kids jiu-jitsu tournament. Your son should compete." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna keep him away from that for a little bit. I want him to really like jiu-jitsu. Once he likes jiu-jitsu, and he can play other sports. He can, play video games, eat whatever he wants to eat. But there's a time to get serious, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes if you start too young." Man, you burn out.
You lose your childhood.
Man, I've heard parents go, "You need to cut weight. You need to do this." I used to play sports when I was young, and my parents kind of were putting that pressure. I fucking left it. You know what I mean?
There's this
One Olympic judo player, for example, just fight until 25 years old. Just one Olympic game, the second one, and that's it. It's not have motivation to keep fighting,
But as that title as an Olympian, it holds a lot more weight than, say, an ADCC champion. Olympians can get endorsement deals, they have sponsorships the rest of their lives,
Yeah, I know.
So, those guys can afford to do that. But if you're coming in the game, there's people that are putting their kids in homeschool at 9 years old and making them train 3 times a day, making them do strength and conditioning, and making them, keeping them enclosed and doing nothing but jiu-jitsu, because it's just like kids that have elite athletes that play football or baseball. They get cocooned, and the parents see dollar signs, and they try to exploit their children, and it's terrible. And like you see it, like the talent parents in jiu-jitsu are the worst I've ever seen. Because these people don't even fucking train, and they're out there yelling out, "Hey, do an armbar, do it! Oh, come on, just get out of him, push him off you." You don't even do jiu-jitsu. How are you even gonna sit here and tell your kid who could kick your ass what to do on a mat? You know what I mean? Like, I hate stuff like that. I mean, it's just, it's.
Have you dealt with any of that? Have you dealt with any of like? I mean, I know you like in your academy or anything. Have you seen anything?
No, we don't have kids. We have a class, but like 6, 7.
Not like that.
No.
He don't even know what a kid is. Like we're just talking about these like people. He's like, kid, what are you talking about? I've never even seen one of these guys.
He's like, are those the short humans?
Those little humans. Oh, that's what they are.
Oh, they're just really smelly.
They're very easy to loop choke.
Yeah, they're very smelly.
You just have to get it really tight on them. Just pop it. They're great grappling dummies. But hey, man, it was great having you out. We were appreciated. I'm glad that you booked the wrong flight so you could come in here and share share some stuff. I mean, it was good. I mean, on behalf of Third Coast and on the Fifth Stripe, these guys. I mean, it's awesome, man. This is gonna go. I mean, it really means a lot to us that you hopped
And
on.
before you do that, Ed, do you have any sponsors you want to give out? Any shout out aside from the Fifth Stripe podcast?
I know. I have sponsors. I have only one about a sponsor. He's the Vital. He's with me by 2 years. And we close that out on another contract for the next 4 years. So
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How about we do a deal here? I give you a Fifth Stripe podcast. On the next championship, you just put it on your bag. That's it. We'll just call it a wrap.
Are you talking about a sticker or a patch?
It doesn't matter. It may be.
want you to put a sticker on.
It may be cheap. It may be cheap. I'll put Scotch tape on it. But
I think Professor Allen's actually offering to promote you to a Fifth Stripe. So
Really?
I don't know if I'd accept that to be honest.
Wrist locks. Don't trust this guy.
Yeah, we'll get you a shirt at least or something. Yeah. But I saw you followed our page. I have to give a shout out. So to all our listeners, things are getting real fucking real here. So you should probably follow as well. So shout out to Nicholas Meregal for tuning in.
all right.
Shout out. Let's give Mr. Nicholas a round of applause.
Yay! That is the official Fifth Stripe. Thank you for showing up.
He's about to go to Whataburger. Maybe have a few sakis.
No, it's got to be a patty melt. They don't have sake at Whataburger.
So we have had
past
No,
11.
He's gonna go somewhere else. And
we've had some famous guests on the Fifth Stripe just within the past week. We had Andy Cordova,
Craig Jones, Gordon Ryan,
Christian Guzman.
Who's that? Oh, Christian. Yeah, Christian was
God
on
damn,
here.
that's fucked
I'm
up.
sorry, I didn't realize.
That's
he was
fucked
We had
up.
Homulo.
We did have Romulo.
Or Romulo, which
Romulo.
did we discuss this?
Everyday
Did we discuss this with them?
Alan.
hey, you know what's kind of messed up? He's sitting on like Romulo barrel, and he's just like, oh.
No, I'm sure he appreciated that.
I'm sure he
Yes,
did, man.
no, that's cool.
Dude, did you really say that?
Hey,
no,
man.
not me.
Hey, I don't.
You
I'm
said
gonna keep-
Romulo
I'm gonna keep
barrel?
it- I'm gonna keep it real.
Well,
You're gonna keep
he's
it
a nice
real.
guy.
You're gonna
No, so-
mispronounce his name.
No,
So
it was good.
he-
He actually turned to me. He goes, "Thank you, Professor."
Oh, yeah.
No, but
I
he
get
actually
that.
did that in his own seminar. He said his name was
Romulo Barral.
yeah.
Are
And
you kidding me?
do you remember Professor Brandon was talking about it? He goes, "Why would he say his name wrong?" You don't remember him saying that?
And then you got Craig Jones that I told him, how the hell do you like Vegemite? Like, what the fuck? Anyways, you can listen to the podcast.
Yeah, it's on
I'm gonna get a
iTunes
fuck
now.
Craig Jones rash guard. That's the funniest fucking rash guard ever. Just fuck Craig Jones.
I think it's a hashtag fuck cringe.
But he's
Cringe.
actually a really
Hey guys,
nice
let's
guy.
segue this to an exit. Awesome podcast. Nicholas, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Professor Isai,
Ryan,
Professor
shut the
Berto,
fuck up.
Professor Allen,
Ryan,
little
shut
kangaroo Jack over here getting all crunk. It's okay. It's okay.
Shut up,
He'll be
Ryan.
asleep in an hour.
Don't worry, guys. Ryan won't be here next time. It's okay.
It's not like I didn't start the thing or anything. It's all good. I do what I want.
Play the fucking music.